metrics. Might be slightly different, but understanding will remain the same. Right? Sometimes data analysts would not be required to perform so many RCAs or try to influence other business stakeholders to action upon the metrics, whereas product and business analysts will do so.
Okay, fair enough.
Right. Okay. And one more thing, guys. What about videos? Anyone wants to turn on their videos? So it will help me understand if you are following or not. Like I understood Manisha is largely satisfied with the answer. Harsh, Akhil, thank you, Prem. Okay, others guys, Rohan, Sakshi, Abhishek. Sakshi, you're in office on Saturday? Okay. I think more people have just joined. Thank you, everyone. With videos on. Okay. Now the last question before we start. Okay. Last question before we start. How many of you have already worked on metric creation or metric definitions and how to action upon metrics? Does anyone have any experience? That's okay, Harsh, we won't judge if the room is messy. Yes. What has your experience been with metrics? Anyone?
I would say that in digital marketing, I used to work with certain KPIs. I'm not sure that whether, they will count as metrics. But yeah, when I used to create campaigns and all, then we have to, track certain KPIs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, CTR of a campaign, like email campaigns, and how many people. We do have a certain certain KPIs for campaign on every platform. Like for social media, we have different KPIs. For email marketing, we have different KPIs. So I'm not sure that whether it will count as metrics.
KPIs are metrics.
Okay.
They're the same thing essentially. Synonyms.
Okay.
Okay. What about others? Any thoughts on what has your experience been with metrics so far?
And there are some of the KPIs that we use in our operations department. So I think they'll be relatable to the matrices in this session.
Yes, fair. Okay. Let me know if you're able to see my screen. We'll get started. We are 10 minutes in. So this is a rundown of what we will cover in this session today. How to think about metrics. We'll try to solve a case study in Make My Trip. We'll discuss about how metrics can be created, how to think about creating metrics, followed by principles to choose the correct metrics. Then we will discuss about types of different metrics, business versus customer, functional versus non-functional. We'll also cover a little bit about data instrumentation. So this is all about, so 10 types of metrics, I think we'll be able to cover in the first session. Then data instrumentation and framework with case studies, we will do in the second session. So some bit of framework we'll cover here as well. But most of these two case studies we will do in the next session, right? Okay. And in between, I'll give you some examples or some to-dos and not to-dos in some very small use cases which we worked upon, right? And you can also give your thoughts on whatever you have encountered so far, right? Okay. And there are a couple of very basic things a lot of analysts get wrong. So I'll cover those in between, right? Okay. Very simply, if I were to ask you, what comes to your mind when you think about metrics? Or what are the questions which come to mind when you think about metrics? Can anyone take a stab at it? As in, what do metrics mean?
Measure I think
You can put in the chat as well, or you can unmute and tell me. Yes, there are a couple of people. Manisha and I think Harsh. You can unmute also, one by one. What do metrics mean?
So I think metrics is something like what is the most important work that can be measured.
What is the most important work that can be measured? Okay, that is one way to define it. Okay, a thing to measure outcomes. Okay. Way to measure performance, progress, and quality. Okay, fair. What else?
Like matrices are kind of a scale or standard criteria regarding something, so that we can match if the requirement is up to the mark or below the mark, or if there is some scope of improvement with the help of stats and the numbers.
Okay, fair, fair. Manisha says tracking progress through measurable outcomes. Very good. Yes, so most of the responses are correct. Metrics, Lakshmi says it helps measure the company success. Again, a correct answer. So metrics are essentially quantifiable variables, right? Or you can think about metrics as measurable parameters. So metrics help us in understanding whether a feature or a product or a business is performing well or not, right? Now, as an example, as a very basic example, if someone is to answer the question, is the person healthy or not? How can you say that? You can always say the person is very healthy, unhealthy, or average, right? But these are qualitative measures, not quantitative measures, right? Quantitative measure will be this person's height is 5 feet 8 inches, the weight is 70 kg, the BMI is 25, the blood pressure is whatever 120 by 80, right? So all of these blood pressure, blood sugar, height, weight, all of these are metrics, right? Now, for a person's health, the metrics can be different. For example, heart metrics can be different, ejection fraction, whatever, whenever you do an ECG and so on, right? All of this will help you understand the metrics for the heart. When you do a blood test, you check RBCs, WBCs, platelets, hemoglobin, right? So these are all metrics specific to blood health, right? So you can think about metrics in this way as well. So metrics in majority of the cases are quantitative measures, right? Okay. Now, the other thing is metrics also help us in understanding whatever impact has been created by a company or a specific department in a company, right? So let us say if the loyalty business team of Flipkart, if they want to understand their impact, so they will see what is the incremental revenue they are bringing to the company, the loyalty program is bringing to the company, right? So metrics are also used to track the impact created by a person, a team, or the company as a whole, right? And multiple teams can work to impact the same metric. For example, in e-commerce companies, you would have seen there is a product listing page. You search something, there are 10, 20, 50 list of products, right? It is called a product listing page. So from the product listing page, people can go to the product and buy, correct? So a lot of teams will be working to improve the progress of a user from a listing page to the actual product page, right? What all are the factors or what all teams can be working on the listing page? It shows the price. So pricing will be a team. It shows the SLA. SLA means in how much time the product will be delivered, right? So the supply chain teams will be working on it as well. There are ratings on the product listing page. So the quality teams will be working on it. There is selection teams who take care of the number of products which are listed on the platform, right? So multiple teams can work to impact the same, right? Broadly, is this clear, everyone? What are metrics and what is their importance, right? So metrics are quantifiable variables or measurable parameters, and metrics help us in answering questions. Is this product working or not? Is this person healthy or not? Is the company successful or not? Right? So metrics are answers, or metrics help us in giving answers to questions. Right? Okay. So as a kid, you were always, or we were always uh, measured in terms of our rank in the class, our marks in the exams, right? Those were also metrics. Okay. Now let us take an example of the search feature in a travel booking site like Make My Trip. Okay, I think everyone would have used Make My Trip here. Make My Trip or Ease My Trip or Clear Trip, all these travel aggregators. Right? And this is specific to the hotel booking, right? Hotel search feature for Make My Trip. Okay, let me see what's. Let me also open. Right. So what is the feature we are trying to measure or understand in terms of metrics? Hotels, and specifically in hotels, this search feature, wherein you enter the city, property name, or location, you add the check-in date, check-out date, the number of rooms, and any uh, filters on price, right? So we need to answer the question, what metrics would you track for the search feature in a travel booking site like Make My Trip? Okay. Now, before answering this question, and there can be so many metrics, right? So before answering, what metrics would you track? Okay, before we do that, any initial thoughts on what metrics can we track here? Before we try to create a structure, etc.
Availability of hotels for a particular time period or something like that.
Okay, availability of hotels for a particular time period. Okay, okay, that is one answer. Anyone else?
Season, like based on there could be sometimes more engagement or more users clicking on it. So
Okay,
certain period.
okay.
Distance,
Distance.
as in the location is Delhi, so we will check. Sometime we will also check nearby hotels as well, no? So we can add distance the the hotels that are in within 10 kilometers of the Delhi range or within 5 kilometers of the Delhi range, something like that.
Okay, okay. Akhil says total number of hotel bookings by city. Total number of hotel bookings by city. Okay. Lakshmi says CTR. Okay. How many people? Okay, Abhishek has a good answer. How many people are using the search feature? How many results for each search? Are people converting from search results? Are they getting enough results for search, maximum search queries? Yes. So, if you would have noticed the answers which we got initially, distance between hotels or season, right? These are more like qualitative answers. Metrics have to be precise, right? So we'll discuss how we will arrive at the correct metrics. So I broadly understood what is the current understanding like. Okay, that's fine. But good answer, Abhishek. Right. Now, very important to understand when you are trying to answer a question like this, very important to understand what the search feature does, right? What does it do? It helps the user put in some inputs and get results. So if you click on search, whatever values I have inputted here, we'll be getting a search results page, right? So this search result page will have price, will have ratings, and it will have filters as well towards the left. So based on these parameters, the user will select, or the user can choose to not select anything here as well, right? So while answering a question in a more structured way like this, what metrics will you track to measure the search feature performance? So important to understand what that feature is, right? So in search, you enter these inputs and you get these uh, product listings, right? These are called product listings, and this is a search results page. You might hear it more often, search results page. Okay, right. Let me move forward now. So as Abhishek has very correctly mentioned, these are metrics will be how many people are using search feature, how many are converting from the search. But how do we get to these metrics? How do we think about creating metrics in a more structured way? Someone also mentioned CTR. And Lakshmi, if you could elaborate a little, what do you mean by CTR here? You can unmute.
Hey, hi. I just thought that when you search for a hotel and then if you just click on a specific hotel and then so conversion is something that Abhishek said. So that is also one thing. So any metric should define the success also, right? So
Mhm.
so I was just thinking that, not sure.
So, okay. So for CTR, what will be, I mean, how will it be calculated exactly? If you can throw some light. We'll cover it later on for
yeah.
sure. But going in, if you have any thoughts on what CTR definition will look like exactly.
Yeah, number of click-through rates divided by
It is
average.
CTR only, but okay, fair. So we'll
It's
discuss.
more like how many people are visiting the website and how many people are actually clicking on the particular thing. It's more like this.
That is a general definition of
So
CTR.
in this case, CTR would mean that whether the search results were relevant for them to click, and then that shows that okay. I mean, if you track the funnel, you'll know that okay, you were inching towards conversion if there's more clicks.
Okay. All right. Got it. We'll discuss later on as well exactly how will we define CTR, right? Okay, but fair answers. Got it. Now coming back here. Yes. So when we are trying to answer a question like this, first we need to figure out what are the questions we need to ask, right? So for example, uh, the best way to do it, if someone asks you this question, the best way to do it is first understanding what the feature does in the first place. Another way to look at it is why does the feature exist? in the first place? Why is the search feature present in Make My Trip at all? Right? So why do you think search feature exists? Or think of it that way. What if the search feature is not available in Make My Trip? What will happen?
People won't have any app options, or they won't have any access to look out for different option and decide what is more suitable for them, and it won't eventually convert.
Yes. Okay. Fair answer. Rohan says irrelevant results. Correct. Abhishek says to make it easier for people to get what they're looking for. Yes. So whenever you are asked a question like this, understand first what is the feature in the first place. The second is why does this feature exist, or what if the feature is not there? So in the absence of search, Make My Trip is just a collection of hotels, right? So the user will come, they will search for a hotel. Oh, sorry, they will not be able to search. So they will have to scroll through. Okay, these all hotels are listed, right? Hotels in city, Delhi, Goa, etc. They will have to go one by one. So it will take a long time for people to get what they are looking for, right? And it is possible that they will not arrive at whatever hotel or whatever exact place they are looking for, right? So what is the feature exactly? Why does it exist? So in the absence of search, Make My Trip is just a collection of multiple hotels and apartments and Airbnb type properties, right? It is a collection of properties. So people, in the absence of Make My Trip, if they come to the platform, it will take a long time for them to search to get what they are looking for, and it is possible that they will not find it, right? They'll have to scroll through either A to Z or city wise. So first they'll go to the city, then they'll go to a locality, then they'll eventually land on the hotel, right? So it will be very frustrating for the user. It will take a lot of time, and it might result in the user going away without ever booking, right? Is it okay? Everyone with me so far? People who haven't spoken yet: Archana, Anuja, Sakshi, Sonu, Srishti, all clear? You can ask if there are any questions.
We are good.
Prem?
Yes, we are good.
Okay, thank you. Prem, I understood Prem, Manisha, and Harsh. What about others who I can't see videos? Rohan? Okay. Now, so what questions do we want to ask? So first we will do whatever we discussed as well. Why does the search functionality exist in the first place? So the answer is what we also discussed. It is to help the users find what they are looking for in the shortest possible time. That is a very important part, right? The search should enable the user to find whatever they are looking for in a short time, or the shortest possible time for the platform, right? So this is the most important question you should be asking. Why does it exist? And you should know, or you should intuitively figure out that why would it be there in the first place, right? Clear? Now, once you have identified the purpose of that feature, the next thing to do is, what questions would you ask to know whether search is doing its job or not, right? So this is the job of search. The next thing is it doing the job or not, right? Clear? Metrics will be answers to this question. Is search functionality performing its function of users being able to find what they're looking for in the shortest period of time, right? Okay. Right. Now, in order to answer this question, search functionality is doing its job or not. So there are these few questions which we can ask. How many users are using search? So the first question would be the adoption or usage of search, right? How many users are actually using search, right? Then we will move to jobs to be done. JTBD is jobs to be done, which is, are they finding what they are looking for, right? And how long does it take for them to get to the search results? So these are the two main important questions. Are they finding what they're looking for? And how long does it take for them to get to the search results? So if you notice, the second question, are they finding what they are looking for, is this related to this part, to help the users find what they're looking for, right? And the second one, how long does it take for them to get to the search results? It is an answer to this. How long does it take for them to get to the results, right? So this is the jobs to be done framework. That whatever job was to be done by search, is it doing it or not? Very simple, right? So first part is adoption, second part jobs to be done, third part is end goal. Are people eventually making a booking after doing a search result or not? Right? Clear? Three parts, three steps, right? The fourth step is, what is these are some other comparison type of metrics. What is the average order value of orders booked via search? And how does it compare to other discovery mediums? So search is one discovery medium. Other discovery medium is when a user comes to the home page of Make My Trip, you would have seen, apart from search in hotels, there are other things as well, like offers, cities. So people can go from here as well. People can select offers and then go into offers and eventually reach the hotels, right? So these are called ads or merchandising. And for people who are logged in, Make My Trip also gives some recommendations. So search, merchandising, recommendation, uh, ads, Google search, notifications, SMS, right? All of these are other methods of arriving at hotel, the hotel property, or getting to know the hotel and then eventually booking, right? So others are basically other metrics which you can compare search to, right? Other discovery mediums, like we discussed, merchandising, recommendations, and all. Right? Any questions so far on the steps we have discussed? Anything at all? If you feel it is confusing, uh, anything, any thoughts?
Could you please repeat the last point?
Yeah. So last is sort of a tertiary thing wherein we compare search with other mechanisms of arriving at a hotel. So search is one, and it is most important for aggregators. The others can be merchandising. If someone arrives at a hotel listing by some campaign running on Instagram. So if they
Yeah.
click from there and arrive at Make My Trip on that hotel, they'll book from there, right? So there are other mechanisms of discovery. So it is called
So other
search,
platforms apart from.
not other platforms, other ways to discover the hotel.
Okay.
So you
Okay.
do a search, you arrive at product listing page, you select on a, then eventually
Okay.
Recording
You
in
landed
progress.
on that hotel through the medium of WhatsApp, not search, right?
Okay. All
These
right.
are called discovery methods.
And if I saw any sort of campaign on any social media platform, then again it would be search.
No, if you find the campaign on any social media, you click from there. Let's say on an Insta ad, you click,
Yeah.
then you land on Make My Trip.
Yeah.
On that hotel page. So for
Yeah.
you, the discovery mechanism here is social media,
Okay.
right? Clear, everyone? The other mechanisms can be you get an email from Make My Trip, then you click and you land. So your discovery mechanism will be email,
Email. Okay.
right?
Cool. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yes. So the other section in this case is how does search compare with the other discovery mediums? So for example, a metric which we will eventually discuss, conversion. If the conversion of search is, let's say, 5%, but the conversion for recommendation is 7%, then you can also evaluate whether search conversion is better or not, or do we need to make more improvements in search as a feature. So comparing it with other mechanisms will also give you insights on where you can improve, right?
Search
Clear?
as a feature. I mean search as a feature on the website,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Prem, clear? Yeah. Okay. Rohan, all clear? Akhil?
Yes.
Okay. Now we'll proceed. Mm, We'll discuss this a little later. Yes. Now coming to the exact metrics. Till now, we have been just naming metrics, right? And also trying to create a structure. Till now, whatever we have thought of, identify what the feature does, why does the feature exist, is it doing its job or not, and these are questions to be asked whether it is doing its job or not, right? How many users are using search, are jobs to be done, end goal, and others. Now we will gradually answer these questions through metrics. So first question, how many users are using search? What should be the metric we should track here? And here we will discuss the numerator as well as denominator. You would have noticed initially when I was asking what will be the metrics. So people gave answers in phrases. What about selection? What about location? So the most important thing for metric creation is being clear on what will be the numerator, what will be the denominator, what will be the exact definition of the metric. And I think by the end of the session, if you guys are able to understand what these components will be, exact definition in mathematical terms, not phrases, and numerator and denominator. So this session would have been successful. Okay. Yes. Coming back. First question. What will be the metric to track this?
For usage, I will think that the total clicked search option, which will be divided by the total visitors. Means if
Exactly.
100 people are.
Exactly. Very good. So here our metric will be percent of the visitors who use search, right? If 100 people are coming to the platform, how many people are performing the action of search? What is using search mean? Input all the values and click on search, right? So the numerator will be number of people initiating a search. The denominator will be number of people visiting Make My Trip. Clear? Very good answers, Harsh and Rohan. Everyone else clear on this metric? Yes, here we did not go the phraseology route that this can be it, right? We know What is the numerator? What is the denominator? How is it defined in terms of a formula? Okay. Any questions here, please? Anyone? Abhishek, Archana. This is very important. That's why I'm pausing here. Ananya, Nida. We'll proceed. Okay. Now, the second thing, are they finding what they are looking for? What can be the metric to measure this? Engagement after the search result. Okay. Okay. Not a very precise metric, but possible answer. Okay. Anyone else?
So
Good
if a customer is clicking on let's say after search result they got 10 20 results, and if customer is clicking on any one of them, we will consider that as numerator, and denominator will be the total number of the searches.
Okay, very good. Very good. So what is it called? What is this metric called?
We can consider the after search clicks or the hotel clicks total. We can say if customer is clicking on the hotel, total number of clicks after that, which will be divided by the total number of the searches.
Yes, that is correct. But what is this metric called? We discussed it initially.
Is it CTR?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
This is CTR, right? So,
Sir, but I have a doubt. Can CTR be end goal? Like, are they making a booking after the search? Because that is the conversion rate, right?
yes. End goal we'll discuss, Nida. Very good question. But
Okay.
it will come a little bit later, but we'll discuss that also. So search
Sure, sir.
conversion will not come into directly JTBT, jobs to be done, right? So are they finding what they are looking for is the question we are trying to answer right now. For this, the most important metric will be search CTR. CTR means click-through rate. And how is it defined? Let us say, as a part of the first metric, we decided or we got to know percent of visitors who use search. It is how many people clicked on that search and landed on this page, or they clicked on search, right? Now, if someone does a click here, they will land on the hotel page. So this is a successful search click through, that after doing the search, whatever listing you got, you clicked on at least one of them, right? So how is search CTR defined? Number of people who click on either of the search results, that is the numerator. Denominator is number of people who did a search, right? That is called search CTR. I'll put this in the chat. What you are saying, Nita, is also correct, but that will be an answer to another question. Okay. Search CTR, number of people clicked divided by number of people doing. See, I've added this in the chat. Okay. So search CTR is the most important metric for the search feature, jobs to be done. What else? Yes. Any of the search results, right? Okay, what about other metrics here? Are people finding what they're looking for? One is search CTR, of course. What about other metrics? There are a couple of more metrics which are very important here.
How many hotels they go through before they click on?
Very good. Exactly. So it is called how many clicks on multiple results? To answer the question first, Abhishek's question, how will clicks on multiple results be calculated? So, Abhishek, if someone does a search and clicks on one hotel, it will be a successful search CTR.
Correct.
Even if it clicks on 3 hotels, selects one, opens one, selects the third one, selects the fourth one, etc., it will still be a successful search.
Yeah. So, but then CTR would be just one unique
Yes.
click.
Yes. So typically, how CTR is defined is after a successful search, click on the first result or the first click,
Yeah,
which
first click of.
be it position 1 or 5 or 10, whatever. Clear?
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. Now to answer this question, what Rohan said, we will also want to track the position of the click. Let us say the research result is this, but my hotel which I am liking is on the 10th index. I have to scroll down and I am clicking on this 10th hotel, right? So it is called scroll depth, the number of listings I go through after doing a search, right? So if on an average I'm going through 10 listings, my scroll depth is 10. If I'm going through only 2-3 listings, my scroll depth is 2-3. So tell me, scroll depth being higher, is it a good number? Is it a good metric, or scroll depth should be lower? Yes. If the scroll depth is high, it means that even after searching, the user is being forced to go through so many hotels, right? So either the ranking model is not working properly, right? Or whatever we are filtering out for the user, that is not so relevant, correct? So scroll depth is the metric. And how do you define it? What is the numerator? What is the denominator? Anyone?
For numerator, can we go for scroll depth or number of listing, and then for denominator, total number of the listings?
Total number of listings? No.
Is it something related to time, maybe?
No. So if someone is doing 10 searches in total and going through 100 listings, so how will scroll depth be derived? Number of listings viewed divided by number of searches done. Right? That will give us the average number of listings viewed for every search. Right? Clear? Okay. Yes. So what is scroll depth? It is the average number of listings viewed by the user after doing a search. Right? So I am doing search number 1, where I went through 5 listings. I am doing search number 2, where I went through 10 listings. Search number 3, where I went through 15 listings. What is the average number of listings I saw per search? 5 plus 10 plus 15 divided by 3, which is 10, right? So how is it defined? Total number of listings viewed divided by total number of searches, right?
Is the
Scroll.
number of searches the amount of hotels that is visible?
Sorry?
The number of searches, wouldn't it be the number of listings that is visible? Like if
No,
there
no.
are 100.
Number of searches is number of times I'm actually doing the search,
Okay.
right? So this is one search which I did. Second search will be, let's say, Goa. So that was search number 1. This is search number 2, right? Now, depending on the number of listings I viewed, my scroll depth will be calculated. Clear?
But scroll depth would be in terms of the page length or the number of listings. So, for example, for Go, there are 100 hotels, and I've scrolled up to 20, then 20 divided, like that would be the scroll depth.
20. Yes, 20 will
Yeah.
be it. Number of listings I have viewed, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Clear so far? So the search CTR, if it is higher, it is a good thing. Scroll depth, if it is higher, it is a poor reflection of the search algorithm, right? Any other metric you think? Any negative metric for search in this question? Are they finding what they are looking for? One is search CTR, second is scroll depth, third is another negative metric that if it is high, it is bad.
Filters. People
Bounce
using
rate.
filters.
Bounce rate, Manisha, will be opposite of search CTR. Search ka
Yeah.
bounce will be opposite of CTR. Yes. Anyone else?
People using filters to pinpoint what they want.
People using filters. Okay. So if more people are using filters, it means that our search was not so optimized, that the person had to use a filter, right? That is also a very good answer. Yes.
But sir, I have a doubt. Filters means optimize search, right? So how is it not optimize search, as you like said?
How is it? Yes. So if the user is being forced to, or if the user has to use a filter, it means that he was looking for, or his behavior is tuned to something else as compared to what he's getting as a result. It is not directly a negative metric, but usage of filters in search points to the fact that whatever we are showing the user is not customized enough, right? So the company would want the filter to work well, the number of filters being high, as in the availability of filters being there, that the user should be able to filter based on ratings, on price, on amenities, on the property type, on the number of stars, and so on. But the search feature will want users to use minimum filters, because they would want that whatever they are searching or whatever they are looking for, we would give them in the first few scrolls. It is not a negative metric directly, but it points to the fact that the user is looking for something more customized, right? And
Yes.
we'll even for search, I mean, the same thing I said, that search result should be, it is customized to the user's prior behavior, the user's prior bookings, right? The user's affinity to specific types of hotels and so on, right? But yes, coming back, what is another very important negative metric for search to answer this question?
High number of searches.
That will be in this part itself. You might have, yes, let me give the exact answer. Not zero search CTR really. It is called null search. What does it mean? Whatever you searched for did not give any search result. It is called null search. So let us say on Flipkart, if I'm searching for Dyson, Dyson air purifier, the result is we have no products like this. So this will be a null search, that whatever you were searching for is not there on the platform, right? So it is called null search. And how is it defined? Number of searches with null listings, with zero listings, divided by total number of searches done. Right? Clear? So these are the three important metrics. Search CTR, how many people are clicking on at least one product after doing the search? What is the average search depth or scroll depth? And number of null searches which happen. Clear? Everyone? Any questions? We'll proceed. Right. Now coming to the second job. How long does it take for them to get to the search results? What will be the metric here? How long does it take for them? Very simple metric actually.
Will it be in terms of the like the time that is so the total time on search, or which will be denominator and numerator will be the time taken by website to load of the results?
Yes, yes, exactly. So it is called search latency. What does it mean? After clicking on search, as soon as you click on search, till the time the page is loaded with the search results, what is the time gap between the two? Basically, how much time does it take for the search result page to load after clicking on search, right? So this answers the question, how long does it take? This answers the second question in the shortest possible time, right? Is this clear, everyone? Search latency. It does not include the time after this. So as soon as the search results page is loaded, that is the time we will select. It will not include any time after that. How much time you are taking to click on any of the listings, that will come under search CTR, or what was the second thing? Scroll depth, right? Clear? Everyone? People who haven't interacted so far, Srishti, Archana, all clear? Shabana, Nida?
Search latency, meaning like in terms of make my trip, like how fast they can load, or from users' perspective, how fast they get the results. Is it
Same thing.
if there is hundreds of data, I mean to
100?
say there are like millions of data, it would take time for make my trip to load all the results. But in
Yes.
perspective of users, like if they get the portal on the first search itself, like the first, then that would differ. So
Yes. So clicking on the first result you are saying, Rohan.
hmm,
So
correct.
clicking on that will be a part of CTR, not part of latency. So this metric is the time taken between click of search and loading of the page. That is it. So it is the same, either from make my trip perspective or the end user perspective, right? After loading, how much time the user is spending is not calculated here, is not included here. That will be a part of search CTR, or search scroll depth. So scroll depth is a good proxy of time taken by the user to decide or go through the multiple listings, right? Clear?
Every time if we'll do a new research, I mean, for example, for a new place, it will count in search latency.
Yes.
Okay.
But it will be a ratio, search latency, the time taken for the page to load divided by number of searches done. Right?
Okay.
It is
Okay.
average time taken for the page to load.
Okay.
I have a
Numerator,
doubt.
yes.
So what if it is about the internet? So how is this valid?
Very good question, Lakshmi. It is a combination of both. It is very difficult to bifurcate that the page loaded slowly because the internet speed was low, or the page loaded slowly because of some issue with Make My Trip itself. So Make My Trip has further bifurcations to it, that in how much time a response was generated by Make My Trip, right? So usually this is a cleaner metric. So if I get a request for search versus I am able to generate a response, that is the difference it is calculating. Not basically, we should not penalize the slow internet speed, right? If someone is using 2G, of course it will take 10 seconds. or more than 10 seconds. But had the same user used 5G or Wi-Fi, it would have loaded in a few milliseconds, 100, 200 milliseconds, right? So it is not the loading on the customer's screen as such, it is how fast they generated the result, right? Generation to loading on the user's portal or user screen are different actions, right? So latency is usually in milliseconds, 200 milliseconds, 300 milliseconds, and so on, right? But very good question. Are you clear on the answer, Lakshmi? Others?
I have a quick general question. So when we search for something in Make My Trip, we are getting few results. So my question is whether those results are customized based on user behavior or whether we are seeing results what Make My Trip wants us to buy. You know, for some results, they might get a lot of commissions and some may not. So those results are based on that or user behavior.
Very good question, Shabana. So for logged in users, Make My Trip will show results based on the user's browsing behavior, the user's past orders, the user's other attributes like male, female, payment methods added, past hotels viewed, location, and all these, right? For logged out users, it will mostly be on location and previously what are the other users in the same location searching for, and some other factors as well, right? That is the first part of this question. Mostly in 80-90% of the cases, it is what is best for the user, right? If it is logged in, we will have more information. If the user is logged out, there will be less information. But Make My Trip and these aggregators also run ads. You would have seen sponsored, right? So Make My Trip also wants you to book something they want because they are getting some commissions from the partners, right? Now, Make My Trip has to balance that it gets money from the sponsors, but it does not irritate the user by showing irrelevant content, right? So it is a loaded question. So it is a mixture of what the user wants and to some degree a little bit what Make My Trip also wants to get as revenue from sponsors by showing them ads. And it is the same for all aggregators. If you look at Meesho, Meesho only generates revenue from ads. So if you are searching for something, it will show other products also which are similar to what you're searching for, right? It won't be like if you're searching for shoes, Meesho will say buy iPhone, right? If you're searching for a bed sheet, Flipkart will not start showing you scooters, right? It has to be relevant, but it is a combination of both, right? Clear, Shivani? Oh, sorry, Shabana.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Okay. Very good question again. Right. Now, what Nida had been pointing to, end goal. Are they making a booking after search? So what will be the metric here?
Percentage of bookings by percentage of search CTR.
Percentage of bookings by percentage of search CTR. But search CTR itself is a ratio metric. It can simply be share of orders with search as the discovery medium, right? Okay, is this metric clear? Basically share of search in total orders. That is one metric. Another metric can be total number of orders with search divided by total times a search was initiated. Yes, Manisha, you are right. Okay. So it is called search conversion.
So in the end goal, we are not going to consider about the bookings that were done without search discovery medium.
Yes, that is why we'll take share of orders. And this is more important than this metric. I'll tell you why after some time. Right? This should be the primary metric here. The number of orders which had search in them. So eventually, after using search, are you actually booking through that medium or not? Right? Clear, everyone?
Since it is regarding the search feature, so we will be considering that part only.
Yes. You won't be
So
so.
can you tell how can you calculate percentage of orders with search as the share of order? Like what?
Yeah.
How are you gonna calculate?
Yes. So the answer is a little more nuanced. I'll give you a broad overview of it. With every order, there is a discovery medium attributed to it. So, for example, if you visited the homepage, saw an offer, and bought the whatever the hotel booking, if you do from there. So, in your order, it will be attributed that the search method or the discovery method was merchandising or ads. Okay. So if you initiate a search and eventually place an order using that search itself, the attribution will be, or the discovery medium will be search. Right. So every order can be attributed to a discovery medium. It can be search, it can be recommendation, it can be merchandising, it can be ads, WhatsApp, email, SMS, Google search, right? So percent of orders with search divided by total orders, right? So it is the responsibility of data engineering and analytics to create a structure so that we will be able to attribute an order to any discovery medium, right? So for example, today, if you are browsing Amazon, you are looking for some t-shirt, right? You search for t-shirt, then you got the search results page, you selected one product from there and bought it. So it will be tagged to search, right? Tomorrow, if you visited again and you visited through a WhatsApp notification, that on WhatsApp, Amazon messaged you that these items are available at a discount, whatever. You order through there without using search at all for that product, then it will be attributed to WhatsApp, right? So that is how discovery method is calculated, right? There are other nuances. I won't go into them right now, but that is how you calculate whether a particular discovery method is working fine or not. Okay.
For end goal, do we only consider like search from the website or do we consider like different mediums also?
For search as a feature, we only consider search. But
Okay.
if someone works in the recommendation team, then they will
Yes.
search for recommendation. If someone
Okay.
works in social media, they will so look for Insta.
Okay, so this end goal will vary from team.
Yes. So that is why for search it is, are they making a booking after search? For other teams it will be, are they making a booking after social media interaction or whatever, right?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Any other questions? Good questions so far. Okay, we'll move. The last part is, what is the average order value of orders booked via search, and how does it compare with other discovery mediums like merchandising, notifications, and all that, just to have a check. So I remember once in Flipkart when I was there was an issue where only the lowest priced products were being shown at the top. If someone is searching for mobile phone, feature phones were being shown, priced at 1100 rupees, 1300 rupees. People, the search, there was some bug where search was not able to show the most popular phones like Samsung or OnePlus or iPhone, etc. Right? So there we got to know that the average order value of search orders is very low. It had dropped suddenly. Right? So comparing with others, we were able to find out that it is over-indexing on price. So search has a backend mechanism, right? It has an ML model which will run, which will look for relevance, which will look for the ranking algorithm, etc. Right? That is how we measure the health as well. Clear? Okay. We'll discuss this later. Okay. One more thing. This is sort of a flow chart, very crude one, for how the user journey looks like while doing a search. You will visit the website, you will initiate a search, you will, this part is where you enter all of these values, city, input, date, etc. Then you click on search, right? Then you will get a listing page. Then you will select any of the listings with the exact hotel. Then you will pay, and then it will be confirmed. So this will help you in creating those metrics. So for example, conversion will be confirmed divided by search click, right? Conversion, if we were seeing there, right? Search CTR will be select a hotel divided by number of listing page views, right? This is just to improve your understanding how the search user flow looks like. Okay. Now we'll proceed. All of this we discussed. Yes, a few to-dos and not to-dos. A metric should be measurable. You should be able to define the metric mathematically. For example, if someone asks, how is the user experience of a company like Make My Trip, right? Then you can't say your experience is good. It is not a metric, of course. There is a metric called CSAT. It is called Customer Satisfaction Score, right? And you'll work on this metric in your milestone as well. So what is CSAT? After purchasing, all the users are asked for rating between 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. This is the average of those ratings, right? User engagement is not a metric. It is time spent on the app, or the number of pages viewed, or the number of times the user liked, shared, whatever. That is user engagement, right? User retention is not a metric as such. The exact metric is number of repeat users. That if 100 people are purchasing in January, out of those 100, how many are purchasing again in February, right? That is user retention. So what will be the numerator in user retention? Number of people who ordered in January and ordered again in February. That will be the numerator. Denominator will be number of people who ordered in January. Clear? User retention, right? So metrics should be measurable. They should have a formula, or they should have an exact definition. And you should know numerator and denominator. Okay. So a very light-hearted example I have here. I have a friend who was interviewing for a company, and he did not have the skills required for that role he was interviewing, but he said, okay, I'll try it out. So in the interview, he was asked, do you know SQL? He said, yes, I know how to work on SQL. He did not know. He said, yes, I know SQL. He said, okay, which tool have you used? He said, I have used MySQL. And the interviewer asked, which version have you used for MySQL? He did not know. He said, I have used the latest version. So the interviewer was okay, right? So this is an example of knowing the exact value or knowing the exact definition, right? Okay, coming back. and this topic we had discussed very briefly at the start. Choose a metric that you can control with the product. Okay. What does that mean? Example, search feature, whatever we are discussing. Even though search will influence orders, that if the search feature is good, the number of orders will increase, but it does not have a direct control over the user ordering. Think of it this way: search is performing very well, search CTR is very high, right? User lands on the payment page, there is a payment failure, and the user is not able to eventually place the order. User is searching for an offer, that offer is not present. Credit cards as a payment feature is not enabled. Amazon Pay as a payment feature is not there. It is taking a long time for the OTP to arrive, right? While entering details of the occupants, the user is stuck at one page because the page is not responding. So these are all factors outside of search, right? So search can perform very well in its own, but other features can drag it down, drag the orders down. So even though search influences orders, it cannot control the transactions directly. There are other factors which might influence. What if the price is very high as compared to other competitors? So search, even though it is working well, it will lose out, right? That is why when we were discussing this, search conversion would be a metric to look for, but it should not be the primary metric, because search conversion depends on factors outside of search as well, right? So choose a metric which you can control with the product. You can control search CTR, you can control share of search orders, but you cannot control what is happening after the search CTR is successfully done. Right? Is this clear? Okay. When building a feature, pair success metric with a failure metric. Like we discussed, null search is one example, right? Think of it, think of a feature like this: urgency messaging. What is urgency messaging? If at the search listings page, I give a message, only 2 rooms left, book quickly, right? This is urgency messaging. You are trying to create artificial FOMO for the user, and by now it will go away. So this feature might increase the conversion, but users can understand a little later after ordering that I really don't need this booking, so they can cancel, right? So for a feature like urgency messaging, we should check gross conversion, but also look at cancellations and check the net conversion. Net conversion is net of cancellations, how many orders are remaining. Okay, clear? Another example is referral program. A lot of companies run referral programs. If someone shares a link with someone else and that guy purchases, both get some referral bonus, right? So a lot of companies, an example, a very good example here was Cred. Cred ran a very high profile referral mechanism, a referral program, where if you refer someone and they make 3 UPI transactions, they will get some reward, cash reward, and the referrer will also get some cash reward. So a lot of users made use of this referral feature, but they did not come back to the platform after using that cashback. After winning that cashback, they did not come back. So companies usually check metrics like this: customer acquisition cost divided by lifetime value. What is lifetime value? The total revenue the customer is bringing, right? So if, let's say, you spent 200 rupees to get a customer through a referral program, but eventually the customer only gave a revenue of 100 rupees to the platform. So for every 1 rupee you earned from the user, you spent 2 rupees, which is a very bad metric, right? So this is a failure metric. of sorts, that you are getting more customers, but at a very huge cost, right? Now, there are three different types of metrics. Functional metrics, which consist of business and customer metrics, and non-functional metrics. We'll discuss about non-functional as well. So functional metrics are metrics which finance teams, business teams, category teams look at. Non-functional metrics are ones which the engineering team or tech teams look at. Okay. So for example, what are the metrics finance will look at? Finance will look at this income statement, revenue, cost of goods, margin, expenses, and operating profit, and you will arrive at the net profit. So this is a typical P&L which the finance team looks at very closely. So finance team looks at these numbers at an overall company level and at an overall product or business category level, right? Now, there are other business metrics which are called derivative metrics, which business teams look at. What are these metrics? Traffic, the number of visits which happen, or the number of visitors. Number of visits are number of sessions. Visitors are number of users who come. So one visitor can have multiple visits, right? I hope this is clear, everyone. Very simple. Then we have metrics like cost of acquisition, average order value, customer lifetime value. How is it defined? What is the total revenue generated by the customer throughout their life cycle with the company, right? So if I am a user for MMT since the last 10 years, what is the total revenue I have generated for MakeMyTrip? Monthly active customers, what is it? The count of unique customers in the entire month, right? The net revenue retention, this is normal retention. Ignore net revenue values. I don't know. User retention. And what is churn? Churn is nothing but 1 minus of retention, right? So these are metrics which we will discuss in the second session as well. But let me know if there are any questions so far. 1 second. Just a second. Where did it go? Okay, there's one more thing I wanted to discuss before all of this. It is called user state model. Somehow it is not added here. 1 second. Yes. Okay, so some other business metrics are average revenue per user, right? Average revenue generated per user of the platform. Then we have average order value, which average revenue per order. Gross margin, you already know, difference between revenue and cost. User conversion, we discussed. Average basket size, average number of items per order. And this is becoming more and more important for all e-commerce companies, all quick commerce companies, right? Revenue per session. So revenue per session is a metric which is important for engagement platforms like Twitter and Instagram, right? Because they don't sell anything directly. So whatever revenue they get from advertisers and partners, it is for those platforms. Then we have customer lifecycle value. We already discussed this, right? So a few business metrics, and we'll discuss more about these later. Okay, now a very good time to discuss about the user state model. Has anyone heard about user state model? It will help us in defining customer metrics. Okay. Okay. Now, for any company, any business, this is the typical journey of a user. What are the steps? One is acquisition, that the customer signs up to the platform, right? So acquisition will include anyone who has onboarded to the business for the first time. Activation is they engaged with the platform for the first time. For example, for a company like Flipkart or Amazon, it will be they placed their first order. So that will be activation, right? After activation, the user can have a spectrum of engagement. The user can start transacting every month, every week, right? Or the user can become a power user where they transact very heavily, right? On the other hand, the user can also get churned after becoming activated. The user, after some time, maybe because they had a poor experience or they did not have any further use of the company, of the product, they churned, means they stopped transacting, right? So they became dormant users. And there are a lot of initiatives to resurrect these dormant users because they have used the platform before. The user can come back to the platform. So companies spend a lot of effort to bring back churned out users. A user can become churned without having activated, that you just installed the app, never used it, right? Then you will become again a churned user. So this churned user who never activated versus this churned user who engaged earlier, who transacted earlier, are two different types of churned users. For this user, we will have more information. For this user, we will only have their login details, etc. So it will be more difficult to activate this user, right? So this is a broad level structure. There are other ways to it as well, other stages. For example, in acquisition, there is a pre-acquisition state when the user became aware about the product, right? That is pre-activation, that the companies run marketing campaigns, they run ads to make the user aware about the product. So pre-acquisition, it is awareness. In engagement, you can divide the user into multiple steps, that this is a user who has less than 5 transactions in the last year. This is a user who has more than 50 transactions, more than 100 transactions, right? So this is a broad spectrum of engagement. And within engagement, there is another section, or outside of engagement, there is another section called referrer, right? That people who are so actively engaged that they refer other people to join the same platform, right? So there can be so many metrics based out of this user state model. And these steps will differ company to company. We'll discuss about a few of them. But structure wise, is this clear, everyone? Shivani, Shabana, Sakshi, Harsh, Rohan. Okay, so let us take some examples now. Let's say Swiggy. For Swiggy, awareness will be that the user knows there is something called as Swiggy and it delivers food. You can do Instamart, you can do dine out and so on. But let us say for Swiggy, the traditional food delivery we are discussing about. Okay, so user is aware by social media campaigns, by news and all that. Acquisition is when, what will you define as acquisition in this case, Swiggy?
When customer
People,
Yes. Okay, Harsh.
yeah, when customer enroll or log in into the Swiggy website or
Okay.
the Swiggy
Okay.
application.
So Swiggy is app only right now. So acquisition will involve multiple steps. First step is that the user downloaded the app on Play Store. That is the first step of acquisition. Second step is the user signed up for the platform, right? What will be activation? That the user did their first order, right? That will be activation. Engaged will be user, you can split the user that they did only 5 transactions. You can bucket 5 to 20, 20 to 50, 50 to 100, greater than 100. And within engaged users, you can also split by Swiggy loyalty program, whether they are enrolled in the loyalty program or not. Swiggy one, I think. Swiggy one versus non-Swiggy one users, right? User who used to use Swiggy earlier, but now does not transact anymore, they will be a part of churned users and they have become dormant users. So even dormant users can be segregated into multiple steps. One is who are still coming to the platform but not transacting. That is one level of dormancy, right? Second level of dormancy is that they have stopped even coming to the app. They have stopped opening the app, right? The third step is they have deleted the app. The fourth step is they have deleted their account as well, right? So multiple steps of dormancy, right? So for someone who has deleted the app and also deleted their account, it will be very difficult for the company to bring them back. All these four stages become more or become increasingly difficult for the company to resurrect them, right? Clear? Now let us take WhatsApp as an example here. Okay. For WhatsApp, what will be pre-acquisition? It will be awareness. Of course, everyone now knows WhatsApp, except for countries like China and North Korea. Most people know about WhatsApp, right? Acquisition will be downloaded the app, registered their phone number on the app. What will be activation for WhatsApp?
Would it be starting a conversation?
It can be that they sent their first message, right? Very good. What will be engagement? That they open the app every day, they number of people or number of times they send a message, the number of unique people they send a message to, number of groups they are a part of, and so on. Are they using WhatsApp Pay? Are they sharing photos and videos on WhatsApp and so on, right? What will be churned here? That the user stopped sending messages, the user exited a lot of groups, or the user stopped even coming to WhatsApp, the user deleted their account, the user deleted the app itself, right? So all of these steps are similar in this case, right? A different example is for GoDaddy as a company, right? Acquisition is they registered, activation is, or a part of acquisition is they were given a free product in their first order. So the business model is slightly different. So they were given a free product is what we consider as acquisition. Activation is that they purchased or they got a paid product like domain or domain protection and all of these, right? So it can, this user state model can be slightly different for different companies. Try out multiple businesses, right? So at every step, there can be metrics. Of 100 people acquired, how many became activated? Of the 50 people who were activated, how many people became more engaged? Out of the engaged users, how many people churned? Of these churned people, how many became resurrected? Of the acquired people, how many people did not activate and became dormant, right? How many people installed the app? How many people registered for the first time? How many people referred others? How many people deleted the app? So at every step, there can be multiple metrics which can be created, right? Clear? Okay. So engagement metrics we already discussed. Retention metrics. One way of defining retention can be users at the end of the period minus new users divided by users at the start. So this is a typical 30-day retention that, let us say, in a loyalty program for Flipkart, it is called Flipkart Plus or Flipkart Black, whatever. If there are 100 active users today, at the end of the month, we were left with only 80 users. So it means the retention is 80%. And the churn is nothing but 1 minus retention, that is 20%. Okay. Okay, then we have traffic metrics. If you have an app, the number of installs by platform, you can split the metrics into multiple dimensions. So for example, traffic metrics can be split by whether it is Android or iOS, right? Traffic, the number of sessions or number of users who visit the app can be broken down into paid versus organic versus notifications, that how they are visiting the app, right? Okay. We still have 20 minutes. Any questions so far? Everyone with me? Able to follow whatever we are discussing? Any questions, any concerns, any doubts? So this is the last topic which we will cover before we take the break. And after the break at 2 p.m., we will do 2 case studies. Right? We will do some more theory, and then we will try to solve 2 case studies based on whatever we have discussed so far. Okay. So maybe the next 10 minutes, we'll quickly cover what are the non-functional metrics. So non-functional metrics are sort of tech or backend metrics, which the engineering teams or technical teams look at. So there are some metrics which are client side, some metrics which are server side. Client side metrics are what the user is seeing. Okay. So an example is app crash rates. What is the numerator here? The number of times the app crashed. The denominator is number of times the app was opened. Right? So tech teams usually look at these non-functional metrics. That is the platform technical language wise, is it working correctly or not? Okay. You can have a great business, you can have a very good UI, you can have a very engaged user base, but if your app starts crashing, if your app starts hanging, it will be a big loss to the company. Okay. Right. So it is.
So can it include, sorry to interrupt, sir, but can it also include the machine learning metrics? Like, as you told, for search, we use a machine learning algorithm. So it might use machine learning metrics like MS, like mean square error or something like that?
No, it will include infra-related metrics.
Okay.
Right. So,
so can you elaborate on infra-related metrics?
Yes. So for example, app crash rate. App crash rate can happen because some server stopped or some of the app support, the backend of it failed, or the app became too heavy. Right. So all of these will be related to how the backend infrastructure or the IT infrastructure has been set up for the app to work. Right. There are a lot of servers, there are a lot of backend storage which happens for any app or website, right? So anything related to that infrastructure, right? So how the architecture has been created, how the data will flow from one API to another, and so on. So if any of those features fail, you will monitor these non-functional metrics. So app crash rates is one, app not responding is one, that if the systems get overloaded, if whatever IT you have used, whatever server spaces you have taken, whatever backend infrastructure which has been used to create the app, there are a lot of infrastructures and logic at the backend which is used to create whatever is generated in the app. So if that starts to fail or not respond, so app not responding is another metric. It is, the numerator is app got stuck, or app, the user was not able to maneuver through the app, divided by number of times the app was opened, right? The third is app size. Should it be high or should it be low?
It should be low.
Yes, so it is easier for users to download it and it does not take up a lot of space. So a lot of times in the lower end phones and phones with lesser memory, if people start running out of storage, people will delete the heavier apps first, right? So app size, the average page load time, these are functional, non-functional metrics on the user end, that the user can see the output of these, right? The next is server-side metrics. Server-side metrics are API response time, API error rate. So in order to show you anything on the app, show the end users anything on the app, uh, the company uses APIs to generate customized views, right? So they track metrics like API response time, that after any click, how much time is it taking to send you a response, right? API error. So if there is some error in the coding of the platform, API errors will come up. Okay. Memory utilization, how much memory of your server has been utilized by for running the app. This also should be on the lower side. Throughput and memory usage. Let us just look at the names. We don't need to go into details of these metrics. Okay, so these are very tech related metrics on the server side. Then we'll have to go through API and what server side actually means and all, which is beyond the scope right now. Okay, so these are some other tech related metrics we should be discussing. And when we are doing an RCA, or if someone asks you that how would you do an RCA on this metric which is falling, you can also bring in a factor of these functional metrics. What if there's a problem? Someone asks you there is a drop in Zomato revenue from 1 month to another. You can bring these uh, metrics as well, that the app started crashing more. That is why there is a revenue loss and so on. Okay. Right. So this is data collection view, which I think we can discuss in the later session, or if you want, we can discuss now. We have 10 minutes. You let me know. You want to break now, or should we discuss this? We'll discuss. It will be like 5 minutes. Right? Quickly. This is how data is collected. So if you want to measure metrics, you should have the correct tracking in place, that if my X action is being done, am I recording that action or not? If I want to track how many people are clicking on the 10th position in my search result, so I should be able to store that 10th position, right? If I am trying to see what is the average scroll depth, I should be able to track all the widgets, all the products, whatever the user is tracking, right? So this is an architecture for Google Analytics infrastructure, how data is captured. So let us say you have a server, you will have a web client, which means website, and you will have a mobile client as an app. So whenever any clicks or any impressions happen in both, all of this data is sent to a server. That server, so this will have client ID, event data, app instance ID, all of these metadata, as well as the actual user generated data it will have. So whether it is from the mobile app or it is from the website, all the events which you want to track, they will be generated as the user interacts with them. It will be sent to a server. The server will send it to a data lake. Collection endpoint is a data lake where all the generated data has been stored, and it is sort of a superset of whatever data is available to you. Then you can do three things. One is using BigQuery or using some app based reporting. So for example, you can run some SQL queries, right, to get whatever data you want. So it is a part of this section, BigQuery. And this is again specific to Google infrastructure. There can be other infras as well, which will have some different views. So we are specifically discussing about Google Analytics because it's the most commonly used infrastructure right now. The second can be data API. For example, if you want to look at your past orders, right? So to view that section, there will be a customized API which will be generated, and it will help the user get his past orders of the last 1 month, 6 months, right? So for all of these customized views, some APIs will be created and they will generate the views for the user, right? And the last is UI reporting or aggregated reporting, wherein you will use a data tool like Google Analytics or QuickSight or Tableau to generate reports, right? So this is how your data instrumentation will look like. Eventually, most of us end up using, as analysts, we use aggregated reporting using a tool, or we use SQL queries, right? This is for the end user to see any data API, which will enable the end user, to view his reports or his past performance, as an example, right? Okay. Uh, that's okay. Okay. We are at the end of the first session. Let me know if there are any questions, and I will launch the poll. Please give in your feedback as well. And we'll meet back again at 2 p.m. And open for any questions which you might have.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry. So yeah, one quick question about the last topic which we discussed now. So are those datas, all the datas when a user comes into platform, does the search, and all the data are stored in one part? And when we are working for that particular company, we will get access to those datas and we can do the calculations and come into idea.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Harsh, you had a question? Anyone else had a question? Which one? Collection endpoint is just a data lake, as we call it, which has a collection of all the user generated events, so that you can either do some aggregated reporting based on a tool, you can either run SQL queries, or you can have um, data reporting based on some customized views which the end user will ask for. So collection endpoint is just a superset of all the data which you have available through multiple interactions by the user. Okay. Throughput is sort of an output metric for server side. We don't need to go into detail for it because this is very tech specific. Even I don't remember. I'll get it before the next session. Then I'll let you know. Yes. Mhm. Yes. So for example, if you are working on search as a functionality, you should track the share of search orders in total orders, not total number of orders with search. So one metric is share of search orders, right? One metric is the absolute number of search orders. Now the second metric, absolute number of search orders, is not in direct control for the search team. What if search is performing very well, but the payment gateway is not working correctly, right? So the search orders will drop, even though the search functionality itself is working well, right? So that is why it is very important to only take targets on metrics or track metrics which are controllable by the team. So search will not take a metric like total number of visits to improve. It is beyond the scope, right? Okay. Anything else? Anyone?
Yeah, I have a question. Can we go back to that slide where we have that Google Analytics framework? I want to know the collection is endpoint is the place where we have all the data from the users, right? Then
Yeah.
after that, I mean, what we can do, if you can explain in layman terms, I mean, what we do after that.
Okay. So let us say whatever data we wanted to get to create metrics or create reports or make the user view some reports for them, we have all of that data. We want to
Mhm.
access it, right?
Okay.
And so these three pillars are what all type of reporting can we do on that data, right? The
Okay.
left part is we can either have some tools to visualize that data in a chart or in a table,
That
right?
is Tableau and Power BI.
Tableau,
That
Power
tools.
BI, Google Analytics,
Okay.
Adobe Analytics, right?
Mhm.
The second one is user specific, which means the user wants to view something. Let's say if I want to get my past orders. So an API will be fired on this collection endpoint and it will retrieve with the past order so that the end user will be able to see, okay, I ordered from this place 3 months back and so on.
So, for example, when we check our past orders on Amazon or Flipkart, something like that.
Yes. So
Okay.
at the back end, an API would be firing, which will go to collection endpoint. It will run some logic and return the customized view which you are looking for, right?
So, I mean, it can happen with any other thing as well, right?
Any other thing,
Apart
yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And the third one?
Third one is querying, normal querying. So let's say you have the collection endpoint. There you have a lot of tables and a lot of data. You can
Mhm.
run SQL queries to join multiple tables and get a result without using the uh, aggregated reporting tool, right?
So, what we do with the results, I mean, for that?
If you want to run some manual analysis, let us
Okay.
say if you want to check that 100 people were acquired by Swiggy in January, how many people have started to transact in Instamart? So this view, this customized view by default is not available in any dashboard, whatever you have created. You want to do some ad hoc analysis,
Okay.
right? So that, or you want to do some other very nuanced analysis that people who are browsing Instamart, are they also viewing similar products on Swiggy or whatever, something like that, right? Some nuanced analysis you want to do, or some manual ad hoc analysis you want to run, which is not available in whatever dashboards you have created at that point.
Okay. So, I mean, do this analysis by our own, or someone tells us that we need this particular thing and you
That
have to do
depends.
that?
If
Okay.
you are a junior analyst, if you are starting out, then someone will be telling you, okay, I want this, right?
Okay.
But when you become a tenured analyst, you will have to identify, okay, what analysis do I need to do for this use case?
Okay.
If someone asks you for a new feature, let us say introduction of some tags on the product list page, I want to evaluate the business opportunity which I have, let us say as a use case, then you will
Mhm.
try to come up with solutions on your own. Okay, what if I use this table, what if I want to create this view, what if I want to create this insight, then you will have to do things on your own, right?
Through SQL.
Through SQL or
Yeah.
through dashboards as well. But in dashboards, very customized views are slightly difficult to create. Let's say if you want to see the user journey since the last 2 years, it might be slightly tricky to work on a dashboard. So you will use SQL or customized logic basically. Let
So
us say if
it's
you want,
yeah,
let us
it's
say
more like
if you want
predictive
to,
modeling.
no, predictive modeling comes later. This is
Okay.
just normal data analysis that, let us say if someone asks you uh, this restaurant in normal Swiggy, traditional Swiggy, has seen a drop in orders.
Okay.
Okay. So you look at the dashboard, you look at a few cuts, but you are not able to get to an answer.
Mhm.
Then you will look at your collection endpoint. Okay, what all other data I have for this restaurant so that I can understand what is happening. Why is it going wrong? Right.
Okay.
So this SQL part, the third part is if you want to do some customized or nuanced analysis, or the dashboard is not available, it is also possible
Okay.
na
Okay.
that some new
Mhm.
product has launched, uska dashboard hi nahi hai, then you'll have to run queries,
Okay.
right? Because dashboarding create is a little bit time taking for some tools. So agar jaldi
Mhm.
chahiye, so you would want to rely on SQL or
Okay. All right.
SQL or Python or whatever.
Yeah. Actually, I don't have much idea about SQL, so that is the reason I was trying to figure out, okay, why we are doing this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you will do SQL later on in this.
Yes, later on, probably from 2nd February, the module will unlock.
Is it? 2nd February
Yeah.
is 2 days after.
Yes,
Okay.
because yeah, it is mentioned 2nd February on the website. Now I don't know.
All right. Might be later because the next session you will have for Excel, then
Mhm.
others.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you everyone for joining the session. We are out of time almost. And if there's nothing else, we can meet back at 2 p.m. Slide here. What based, okay, before that, any questions from the first session? Anything which you want me to repeat? Any doubts you have, any concerns on what we covered, what we did not cover? If not, we can start with this. So our current use case is, what metrics would you track for Instagram Reels? Okay, everyone knows about Instagram Reels. How much time per day do you spend on Instagram Reels? Any questions on the feature itself? So if there are no questions on the feature, we will take 10 minutes to create a structure, whatever we discussed in the previous session. Based on those learnings, can we create a structured way of thinking about metrics for Instagram Reels? Okay. Everyone clear on what we need to do? Lakshmi, Anuja, Manisha, Akhil, Nida, Srishti. Right, so I'll go and mute. If you have any questions in between, you can ask. And we'll start the discussion at 2:17 or 2:18. Okay? I'll go on mute. If you have any questions, you let me know. Think about whatever we had discussed, creating a structure. Don't just give a metric. Whatever steps we had discussed. Okay, we'll start now. Everyone ready? Prem, Shabana, Lakshmi, Harsh. What about videos? Rohan, Srishti. Okay, so who will go first? We will start with purpose. Yes, any volunteers to help me with these metrics? You tell me, what should be the holistic approach? Hmm.
Increased
Yes.
impressions.
Huh?
Increased in impressions.
But before that, okay. Purpose you are saying?
Increase the time spent on app, drive more user engagement.
Okay. But Prem brings up a very good angle to this. That should we do it only from the viewer's perspective or the consumer's perspective, or there are other personas as well for Instagram Reels as a product, right? By default, everyone would be looking at only from a viewer's perspective, that how many people are visiting, how many people are using Reels, what is the time spent and everything. But there are other actors as well in Instagram. So first, in this type of a use case, we will start off with what are the different types of users for Instagram. Then we will add the purpose accordingly. Nida, you had a question?
So are we also targeting the creators? Because watching reels might create like increase the creators' followers and all.
Very good. Yes, we should. Ideally, we
Okay.
should include all the different types of actors. So let's go through those. Of course, the first one will be, so first we will do actors or personas. Very good thought process. Okay, so one will be the viewer or the end consumer. I'll call it viewer. Second will be, like you rightly mentioned, creator. What else?
Third is the business itself,
Very good.
platform.
Both are correct. Advertisers, advertisers, and one will be platform as a whole
Platform. Yeah.
or Instagram. Right? Very good. Very good start to this. So let us say you are asked this question in an interview. It will be okay if you only give metrics from a viewer perspective, but it will be a much more enhanced answer if you think about other actors as well. Right? So whatever we did earlier, make my trip mein to you don't need to think beyond the viewer or the end consumer, right? But here, because the different types of users are so significantly different and have different use cases, it is very prudent to think of those. So, very good start here. Now we can add these purpose blocks to all these different personas, right? So, let us say we will start with viewer first. What will be the purpose for a viewer if you were Instagram?
Entertainment or education, maybe.
Okay, entertainment.
Education, infotainment, kind of.
Okay. Huh. Infotainment, whatever. Very good. What else?
Connect with friends.
Connect with friends. But will it be specifically for Instagram Reels? That will also be a purpose. Connect with friends you can do without Reels also, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay, but good attempt. What else? I can also add keep up with the latest trends, right?
Yeah.
What else? So what will be the purpose? So let me rephrase the question. What will be the purpose for Instagram to add this feature from a viewer perspective? Right? So they would want the viewers to have higher engagement, more entertainment. They would want viewers to spend more time on the platform, right?
Retention.
Spend more time, more engagement. Retention. Okay. Repeat. They will come multiple times, right? Repeat
Yeah.
visits to Instagram or Instagram Reels. Very good. What else? A lot of people come only for time pass and killing time, right? So broadly, these four will be the purpose aspects for Instagram from a viewer perspective, right? Clear?
But
Everyone?
how repeat visits to IG would be, I mean, if I talk about the viewer's perspective, how,
Hmm.
I mean, I cannot connect with it. I mean, how repeat visits to IG would be uh, anywhere beneficial to the viewer. Like it would be beneficial to the business, right? But if we are
Mhm.
specifically talking about the viewer's perspective, so I mean,
So
how is it connecting?
it is from the point of view that if the user is liking the content, liking the way the content is being generated,
Mhm.
they will repeat more times because of the need for them to come back, which means that the viewer is finding value to the platform, is finding value in the platform, and they will repeat or they'll come back to the platform. So think of it from the perspective that what metrics would Instagram want, or what purpose is it fulfilling for the viewer to increase their. So let
Okay.
us say you are liking the Instagram Reels as a format. So by repeating multiple times, you will increase that happiness quotient, or you will increase
Instant
that engagement
dopamine hit,
quotient of
kind
the
of
platform. Think of it that way. Sort of, you can say that.
instant gratification.
I hope I am audible. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So that is the purpose from a viewer perspective, right? Agreed?
Okay.
So if that keeps on happening as a cycle, so the viewers will come multiple times to the platform, right?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. But good question. Okay. Everyone is clear on this. We'll move forward.
One doubt, one question actually. So sometimes people visit Instagram to buy things from small business people. Will that count here or creator?
Sometimes they
Small
visit
business.
to buy things
Purchase
from
things.
small business.
People, yeah. People nowadays, people are just doing business just in online platform rather than stores.
Is
So
it
they create a
specific for
page.
Reels?
Yeah. So they do reels to attract people and to advertise things.
Okay. So it will come in advertisers. When we discuss purpose for advertisers, this aspect will come in handy there. Right, Shabana?
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So currently we are working on creators. So what will be the purpose for the creators?
Personal brand.
Brand building.
Yeah.
Very good.
Engagement.
Engagement with the viewers. Engagement, or you can say
Following.
audience.
Yeah. Audience.
Audience increase. Okay, very good. So product selling, you means getting
Advertisement.
ad revenue, getting ad revenue, right? Ads and
Influencing.
revenue, influence, brand building, influence increase, all of this is one,
Mhm.
right? What else? That's broadly it, right? Brand building, influence, engagement on their reels, they will get a bigger
Popularity.
audience.
Yeah.
Popularity is all here. Right? Very good.
Engagement.
Now coming to advertisers. What would they want?
More business. More
Very good.
sales.
Brand
Higher
awareness.
Awareness of their brand awareness.
sales.
Revenue, financial revenue.
What was the second part you said? Awareness.
Targeted,
Publicity.
targeted advertisements.
Right? Okay.
Brand advocacy, I think.
High return of investment. ROI.
Brand ROI will be sort of a metric, not a purpose. So
Okay.
ROI will come in here only, like higher sales, profit, influence, like power, whatever you call it. Right? Brand building again here. That is also an okay thing for advertisers, right? What else? This covers broadly everything, right? Which it means for the advertisers.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Now the last is platform as a whole. Why is it launching Reels?
To buy the time and attention of the audience, retention of the audience, because the more people, they will be available on the platform, more advertisers will be interested in, advertising on the platform.
Monetization through ads.
So the universe will keep on increasing. What all users Instagram can reach. Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, revenue, profits, higher number of creators, higher time spent, etc. All of this, right? Eventually, why is Instagram doing all this? To get better revenue and profits, right? That is the end goal.
Yeah,
Correct?
good influencers on the platform.
Yeah. So everything rolls down to this revenue, profits, and these days a lot of companies are also valued on the basis of their daily active users, monthly active users, overall audience. Right? Okay. So this is a very good start on creating the structure. We identified the actors first, and then we identified what will be the purpose for every actor for Instagram Reels. And don't forget, while you are creating these purpose, don't forget that it is specific to this product, Instagram Reels, and nothing else, not posts, not stories, right? Specific Insta Reels. Okay, very good. Now we'll start. Okay, now that we have arrived till this point, and if you are in an interview, you can say that we will focus more on one aspect. While you can, because there will be some lack of time as well, right? I mean, interview is 45 minutes or 1 hour, so there might not be enough time to cover each and every actor. So you can focus more on one, and in a lot of cases, or at least here, whatever metrics we decide for viewer, 80% metrics will hold true for creator as well, for advertisers as well, right? So we'll start with viewer and then we'll take it from there. So now we will go to metrics, and maybe what we can do is we can now, based on this purpose, these 3-4 purpose points, we can think of questions. What all questions will the metrics answer or need answer to, right? Because that is the second part. Okay, we discussed what will be the purpose. Now, what all questions will people ask to assess whether reels from a viewer perspective are working or not? So, what questions?
Active users.
Questions.
And how can we monetize our channel?
How
Or are
can
we
okay, I'll give you a sample question. Okay,
okay?
is Instagram Reels getting platform? Is the Insta Reels platform getting enough users or enough traffic? So, in order to assess all of this, right? How many viewers are coming in the first place, right? So, purpose we will now ask the questions whether these purpose points are being met or not. So, what is the first question people will ask? Okay, viewers kitne hain? How many viewers or how much traffic is the platform getting in the first place, right? Is this point clear, everyone? I hope I'm not confusing. Clear?
I have a question here. Is this like are these questions just for viewers' point of view or it is
Viewers.
the viewers? Okay.
I'll write it here. Okay, this is the first question. What other questions people ask to satisfy this purpose, whether this purpose is met or not?
Is this
Exactly. Very good. Very good. Are people spending enough time on Instagram Reels? Right? Or what is the time, or are people spending time here? Okay, very good. What else?
could it be
So
scroll
are
depth?
the reels okay?
Yes, go
Completion
ahead.
of the reels.
And
Okay.
frequency of the post.
Okay. Frequency
Are the
of the post.
reels entertaining enough to for the customer retention,
Okay.
like user retention?
So they can, all of these questions can come under one umbrella. Are users engaging and following, right? Or overall, are they engaging with the content, right? What was the other point you mentioned?
Scroll depth.
Scroll depth will be a metric. It won't be a question, right? And one more question, I think, which someone has already mentioned is, are people repeating? Look at the purpose. Time pass, repeat visits, spend more time. Actually, theme hi hai. This is a duplicate, right? So, in entertainment, etc., is linked to this question. Spending more time and engagement are these two, and repeat visits is the direct question here, right? Clear? Largely, these are the four type of questions you will have to answer. Clear, everyone? Manisha, convinced?
Sir, can it be how long the customer, like the user is spending time? Oh, sorry. There's a
That is
word.
there. That is that.
I
Manisha,
feel
any question?
there's okay.
Yes, Manisha, any question?
Yeah, actually, I'm confused. I mean, I'm unable to understand. I mean, how through viewers' point of view we are coming up with these questions. I mean, I don't know where I'm getting confused. I'm unable to figure out. I mean, what what is our role in this entire thing? I mean, are we thinking from viewers' point of view or are we thinking from our point of view?
For the viewer, we are thinking from Instagram point of view for the viewer, because viewer will not be seeing any metrics, right?
Yeah.
The viewer will not ask any questions. Instagram as a company will ask these questions from itself, right?
Okay.
So purpose के time पे you will think of the viewer. Are they getting entertainment? They have come to spend more time. They have come to, start repeating on the platform. Then the questions you will ask are, if you had to measure if I am able to fulfill the purpose or not. All of these questions, leadership in Instagram will ask, not the viewers, right? वो वाला point of view is only till the purpose.
Hmm.
But good thought process, Manisha. now clear?
Hmm.
You can say no if you aren't. It's
No,
okay.
I think I understand now where I was getting confused. I
Right.
understand now.
है ना? So metrics तो Instagram में दिखेगा, right? Metrics, users won't see any metrics. They can only see how many followers they have and how many posts they have, what is the likes, etc. on their posts, right? That will be something which is not really of a direct concern so much, okay, of the platform. But good. Okay. Now coming to the exact metrics, the most important or the second most important part. First question, is the Insta Reels platform getting traffic? What will be the metrics here?
So
Clicks on
engagement
reels.
rate.
Engagement rate means?
How many people are engaging in a day?
Like
Okay.
number of people, like how many people are engaging with like comments, likes, and shares.
But
In
correct. Very good. That is the exact metric. The one you mentioned, likes, etc., that will come under engagement.
engagement metrics.
Right?
Okay.
So currently, the metric will be number of users opening or visiting Reels, Insta Reels, divided by number of users visiting
Visiting
Instagram. Right? Clear? The top of the funnel metric, as we call it. Correct? What else? Second metric on traffic. Number of reels being watched. Again, this is top of the funnel, right? You would want to see if 100 people are coming to Instagram, how many people, let's say 50 are going to reels. Out of those 50, how many, what is the average number of reels they are viewing? Okay, Shivani, question?
Yes, sir.
Tell me. You had a doubt?
No, I don't have any doubt.
Acha, I saw you.
Actually, I have a question, but I'll ask you after.
Okay. So I'll mute you till that time.
Yeah.
I saw you at unmute, that's why I asked. Okay. Good. So this is broadly done. Coming to the second part, are people spending time on reels?
Time spent on reels divided by time person was
Spent on the
active on
platform.
Instagram.
Okay, very good. Percent of time spent on Insta Reels divided by time spent on Instagram. So what is the share of time people are spending on watching Reels? Very good. What else?
So scroll rate, like scroll depth or something. Like scroll number of reels scroll divided by time spent scrolling.
This is the one, right? Number of reels watched per session is that metric. What you are saying, right?
Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
So one can argue
Yes,
that
sir.
this metric can come in the second part as well. It won't be wrong. So number of reels watched per session can also be a part of this answer, this question. Are people spending enough time? But for time, we have another specific metric. That's why I added it here. But a case can be made. Why is it in the first traffic section and not here? It is okay. Both will be similar, right? If number of reels being watched increases, time spent will also increase, right? Which is okay. What else?
So bounce rate.
Many. So it is like this. The definition is like this: percent this by this. Eventually, it will come out as a percent. है ना? Another very
So
nuanced metric. Huh?
bounce rate.
How do you define
Like
bounce rate?
the number of reels skipped by time spent on scrolling.
How do you skip reels? You watch very small percent of it, is it?
Yeah.
That is a good point, and that is the basis of the next metric. And the use case you are mentioning, na, Nida, that will cover
Yes.
in this metric. I'll tell you 1 second. So this
Can
metric
be
is
negative metric also.
but okay, let's see. There is another metric called percent reel completion rate, which means real time watched divided by real time available. So if the reel itself is of 10 seconds, but the user watched only 4 seconds or 2 seconds, the completion rate will be 20%. So if there is someone who is very quickly scrolling, right? Maybe if the reel is of 1 minute, they watched only 1 second or half a second. So the reel completion rate in that case will be close to 0, right? So it will be captured here, right? This is average reel completion rate. You got it?
Yes, sir. So like I was confused between like the bounce rate, as you told, we'll mention it later, versus this. How does it differ? Like what is the difference between both of them?
So bounce rate is, and actually bounce rate is not very valid in reels, because what, but the one thing can be non bounce को आप क्या बोलोगे, that the user viewed the entire reel, that is non bounce.
Yes.
Or you can
Yes.
say bounce rate, but good thought, bounce rate can be percent of views which watched, wait, 1 second, percent of views watching the reel for less than 10% of the total real time. Now this can be 5% also, this can be 10% also, depending on the business use case. So bounce can be defined like this. Okay, if the reel is of 20 seconds, but the user is only watching 1 second, yeah? So he is scrolling after it, right? Or he's watching only for 0.2 seconds and skipping, then it is a bounce for that reel, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Manisha?
Yes.
Prem? है ना? So this metric can be defined in multiple ways. One is this, based on the reel, whatever watching time. The second way bounce rate can potentially be defined as percent views where no action was done, as in no like, save, share, और क्या होता है, comment,
Save. Share.
है ना? So this can also be treated as a bounce rate, but in this the metric will be very high, right? Because if you are viewing 100 reels, how many reels do you actually do a like or share or whatever? Less than 5, 7, 10%. So doing that is not a very good way of presenting a metric, a negative metric. You can't say my negative metric is 90%, right? From a metric management point of view, it will seem weird. कि यार ये तो, the metric is so skewed, right? So we'll
So
not
can this
include.
be a strong metric for engagement?
Yes, it will be a metric for engagement. Very good. We'll come to that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Any doubt so far? People not on video. This one. So bounce rate, how is it defined for a normal e-commerce platform, or for, let's say, Amazon? How do you define bounce rate? That if 100 people visited Amazon ka homepage, how many people go away without interacting with anything on the homepage. They don't do search, they don't click on account, they don't go to cart, they don't click on anything on the homepage, right? So if 100 people visit Amazon homepage, only 10 people will not do anything and go away, right? There is no time foundation. It is on the basis of your interactions with the page, right? So this is easy to uh, instrument, right? What is the numerator? Number of people who did not do anything divided by total people who visited. Clear? For Amazon, Flipkart, Zomato, Swiggy, all of these. But for an engagement platform like Instagram Reels, if I use the same logic that how many people visited a reel and did not click anything, this number instead of 10% will be 90%, right? Because of the inherent nature of reels, right? Provide quick entertainment, you'll scroll. Only if you really like some content, you will like it or share it, right? Think from your point of view as well. If you are scrolling 100 reels, how many you actually like, right? So if I create a similar metric for bounce rate for reels, it will come out to 90%, 95%. So this is a negative metric, bounce rate. A negative metric being so high is a little weird from metric management point of view, right? So it is better that if we do the reverse of it for reels, what will we say? That percent of the reel views which got an engagement, right? So that number will be 5, 7, 10%, which is okay. And then you would want to increase that number. Clear?
Point B and C are connected somewhere, right?
Point B and C are B and C. Yes, they are. So point C is sort of a more nuanced view of point B, right? Point,
Yes.
matlab, companies can say, no, because if the reel is of a higher length, let's say it is of 10 minutes. I don't know if it is possible or not. Let us say if the reel is of 10 minutes and people are bouncing off or just scrolling it out after 5 seconds. So there, the bounce rate definition will become like this, right? So this is a little subjective. If the reel is short of 10 seconds, you will say less than 10% of it is viewed, then it is a bounced on the reel, right?
Okay. And
So real completion rate will be sort of an average, right? That real completion rate is 50% or 60%. But here you are specifically drilling down on the poor part of the reel view. That jaldi se scroll kar diya, that you scroll very quickly, right? It is sort of a subset, right?
I want to know, average watch duration would be the metric for equation A or equation B?
Average watch duration.
Duration.
Average watch duration won't be an either. It will be a separate metric actually, but we won't want to measure it. Why? Because what if the average watch duration is 10 seconds today, let's say. Okay. But after a few days, the length of the posts, the length of the videos itself increases. So
Mhm.
this number of 10 seconds can increase to 20 or 30. But
Mhm.
if you look at it in isolation, okay, average was 10 seconds, but now it is 30 seconds. So it will seem like what a growth in the metric. But it is
Yeah.
not a function of more engagement, it is a function of
Mhm.
the length of the reel itself. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Clear?
Okay.
Prem? Clear? Okay. 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 We'll explain it with some numbers. So let us say a user visited Insta Reels. The total time the user spent in that session on Insta is 5,000 seconds. Let's discuss everything in seconds. Okay. So Instagram time is 5,000 seconds, right? Insta Reel time for that user is 2000 seconds. Okay. So our metric A, time spent on reels divided by time spent on Insta total is what? 40%? But this user, when he was scrolling through the reels, he did not view the entire reel for all the reels, right? Some reels may, if it was 20 seconds, he watched only 10 seconds. If it was 50 seconds, he watched only 20 seconds, like that. है ना? So Insta, how do I do this? So this is the Insta reel actual time watched. ठीक है? But Insta reel time available on the reels watched was, let us say, 3000 seconds. Had he watched entirety of the reels, whatever he watched, he would have spent 3000. But because his completion rate was not 100 for all the reels he watched, the actual time watched is only 2000. Right? This nuance is clear, Prem? He skipped, है ना? He skipped, है ना? So हाँ हाँ है ना? So in this case, what will be the metric B? It will be 2000 by 3000, which is 67%. Clear? Harsh, Nida, Lakshmi, Shivani, Rohan.
Yes, sir.
Videos, please. Otherwise, I'll have to ask. Shabana, video. Anuja, video. Srishti, video. It's like I'm selling videos. Okay. Now the last part, bounce rate. Let us say the user watched how many reels? Let's say he watched 100 reels in that 5000 ka session. Okay. Out of 100, there were 20 reels where he watched it for less than 10% of the real time available. So his bounce rate will become 20%. Clear? So I think there is one more metric which companies track, which is median time spent. Or let me not complicate. It's yahin tak. It's okay. Okay. Bounce rate. Clear? All of this? Thank you, Shivani. Thank you, Nida. Rohan. What about non-video people? Lakshmi, Shabana, Shrishti. Who is in office? Whose room is messy? Okay. Now we'll move ahead. Yes. Are users following/engaging? Metrics. The old one, percent reels where or reel views which had like, save, share, comment और क्या होता है divided by total reel views, right? Or you can also do this in terms of the session number, total number of reels which had like, share, divided by total sessions. This is also one way you can define it. What else? And then you can split also. Okay, only like check kar lo, only save, only share, only comment. You can split this metric into 4. Number of reel views which had a like, number of reel views which had a save, which had a share, which had a comment, and all that. Right? Okay, what else?
Total minus old followers. Total followers after on a reel. Sorry, on the account, and when we remove old one, then we get total follower that are on the account after watching the reel only.
Eh? I didn't get it.
I was saying, as there is a question about are users following, so we will calculate it by subtracting old user from total, where we will get new users that are following the account after the reel only.
Acha. Okay. I understood. Follows from Insta Reels, you can say. The number of times, okay, that is a good way. Number of follows, or what else? Follow and subscribe. Subscribe is also a thing on Insta, kya?
No, I think it's on
No,
YouTube.
Okay.
followers only.
Follows,
Profile visits to the user or creator.
follows from Insta Reels divided by total sessions or total reels viewed. Okay, very good. What else?
One doubt, whether that point doesn't comes under content creators, like
That will
the
come under
creator.
content creation as well. Yes. If someone is following, the other person is being followed, right? So that will come for creators also. Good point. Okay. Shavana?
Yes, but under viewers point, I'm not satisfied.
What point?
Like this, the last point, the followers. I'm not
Ah.
able to get that.
The number of times users are clicking on follow when watching Insta Reels. So when you're watching in a reel, you can still follow from there, right? So from a viewer perspective, from a viewer persona, it is also a metric which Instagram would like to track. That in how many cases, in how many views, let's say if 100 views are happening for reels, in how many views there is actually a follow. It will be a little different when we define it for content creators.
Okay, yeah. Now
Okay.
it makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, great. Good question. Manisha, I'll mute you till that time to avoid disturbance.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. Okay, what else? What other metrics?
Profile visits and also few Instagram have links that we can click on. That could. So we track.
Can you repeat?
A few Instagram reels have links embedded into it, so few people click on those like small businesses or affiliate links.
Okay. Number of
So advertise engagement, ads engagement, something.
number of times links are clicked divided by total reel views. Okay, or total sessions. Both two metrics can be created. Yes. Sorry. What was this metric you were mentioning?
So
Nida?
advertisement engaging something.
Advertisement engaging. What will it be? What will be the numerator and denominator? Are you saying the number of times people visit the profiles who created the reel?
Yeah.
Something.
Can that be a metric in this?
Yes. Profile views from Insta Reels divided by total reel views or total sessions again. Right? What else?
Yes, sir.
Can we? Yeah, please.
Total reels. You can split it actually. You can split it into 2-3 metrics like this. You can say total reels with links, and you can say total right?
But D and E would come under creator or advertiser's perspective, right? Not from a viewer's perspective.
Links only the advertisers give kya? Actually you're right. It will come under, yes. But can it come under viewer also? Because if you want to see that if creators are adding links, are viewers even clicking on those links or not? So link addition as a functionality, is it working or not?
The thing is, I mean, if any creator put any link on the reels, I mean, are the links clickable? This is the first thing.
Okay. Yes, valid point. That can also be tracked. Yes.
Can we also track increase in MAUs?
So, okay. That incrementality is a different use case.
Okay.
The metrics we are tracking right now is adoption and jobs to be done. You are asking a very good question that because of Insta Reels, what is the impact on overall Instagram? Right? We'll come to that towards the end. But very good question. And this
But
is
I mean, what I wanted to say, I mean, through this engagement thing, I mean, can we also check, I mean, that if there is an increase in daily active users or monthly active users, that means the reels are actually working and people are engaging with it.
So you are talking about incrementality, Manisha.
Yeah.
So mostly how companies do this evaluation is by running A/B tests.
Yeah.
What is an A/B test? One population group ko you will show the normal experience, the other group ko you will show the reels experience, and then you will see who is spending more time, who is generating more revenue, and so on. But that is a question of incrementality, right?
Okay.
I think you will cover it in some other. I'm not sure if it will be covered. It is mostly covered in product management fellowship, right? But this is one way to do it. A/B testing. Okay. You can also track that if there is one user who had not interacted with Reels, once he started interacting with Reels, how did his engagement and overall revenue increase? That also you can do a pre-post.
Okay.
But that will come with some biases, right? If we get time in either Excel sessions or later, we'll discuss this. Okay. I think I only will take Excel. So remind me when we have extra time at any point. Okay. All right. Where were we? Any other metrics? So we were discussing reels with links. Can they be added here or they have to be only added for creators? I think they can be added here as well. These metrics will not be like a very, very important metric. It will be like a P2 metric, right? P2 means second priority, third priority, that. Okay, but good point. Whoever raised this, should they be added or not? What else? Very important thing we are missing. Some failure
It could be
metrics.
something. Which
Mhm.
metric?
Failure metrics.
People are not engaging or liking or doing anything on the reels.
That will come from here only, na? If it is a low metric. Negative metric, as in you would want it to be 0.
Null metric.
Not watching reels itself.
Sorry?
People are skipping the reels entirely.
People not opening reels at all.
That will come under time spent, number of reel views, right? That will be 0. So the metric I was looking for is number of reels reported, right? Number of creators who are getting reports on their content, right?
Okay.
Any other negative metrics you can think of? Bounce rate, etc. is there. Report is there. What else is there as a negative thing? Report के अलावा there's nothing else, no? Block is also one. It comes with reporting only, right? Number of creators blocked divided by total with okay. Anything else you feel we can add here?
I
Click
was
on
thinking,
not
so
interested. Click on not interested or unfollowers.
Not interested. Yes. Very good.
And decrease in followers.
Okay.
So won't it come under blocked only, not interested or reported? Or will that be a different metric?
You can track it as a different metric because unfollowed is a different action and report is a different action. Report is if you are really offended by it. Unfollowed is okay, in general you don't like it. So the number of unfollows is much higher. The number of reports are much lower. But reporting happens if something is very objectionable, right? Only then you would report. Unfollow, though, there's some irritating post someone put, you unfollow, right? But again, these are all subjective metrics, right? Okay, do you want to club them or not? You want to separate them out, right? Depends on the business, but I think these should be viewed separately. What if the number of reported reels becomes high, but the number of unfollows become low? Ideally, there should be an alarm that why is the number of reports, like you would have seen for Grok, right? What happened recently? So much outrage, correct? Okay.
can we
Unfollowed.
also focus on something, I mean, which is related to what I do sometimes is I watch a video again and again and again. So some sort of replay kind of thing which we can focus on. I mean, the
Okay.
reels that we can watch in loop, we are watching in loop. kind of.
Okay. Okay. So the same reel being viewed by the same user multiple times.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Okay. How would you define it? Number of reels viewed or completed.
Number of reels replayed.
One time.
Number of times.
Total.
Total views.
Total reels viewed. Something on those lines.
So
right?
can this be a metric like number of reels saved? Because also I make these specific buckets for different content, like food ka different reels I save. Something like that. Can we
Save
include
is
this?
also added in this engagement ka, like, save, share,
Okay.
comment.
Got it. Yes, sir.
And then one more metric can be the number of times you are visiting the saved section. Right? Okay. Number of visits to saved section divided by.
But so also I would want to add saved can be also for post. It's just not for reels. So will
Okay.
that post be also included in this?
I don't know what
So
is the
I
functionality
think
there.
we shouldn't create.
Okay, let's not go into too much
Maybe
detail
we
about
cannot.
Insta.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Right. So these are
Okay.
all what do you call it? The tail metrics. So a lot of nuanced functionalities available in Insta. So we have covered the Pareto, the top 80% or top 90% important metrics. Other features can also be there, collections and whatnot. There are so many new features. So let us not go too much into depth about Insta features, right? It will be a very long session then, right? Okay. Broadly, we have covered everything about following, engaging. What about the last section?
I think one or two points that are related to the repeat will go to this repeating visit to IR that we already added to the previous one.
Well,
In the following and engaging only. The number J which shows reels completed and more than one time by same user.
No, this will be different. So a metric here will be that the user visited on different days. Like if someone is visiting Insta Reels today, they are visiting again tomorrow, the next day, or the next week, like that. So I'll share one example of a metric here. There is something called as daily Insta Reel retention. So percent of users browsing Insta Reels on the next day divided by users who browsed Reels on the previous day. So this is daily Insta Reel retention. You can convert it into a weekly metric. You can convert it into a monthly metric as well. But considering that Insta Reels is something, which is expected to be repeated daily. So daily retention is what people would want to track. Right? Of course, this will change weekly. On weekends, it will be a higher number. On weekdays, it will be a smaller number. Right? This is clear? Okay. Last metric for this use case. Anything comes to mind? Another metric is, number of sessions with at least one Insta Reel viewed per day. Right? It is sort of similar to this. Number of reels watched being sorry. Number of reels watched per session, but this is number of Insta Reel sessions in a day. Right? What is a session? That you came to the platform, you visited for 30 minutes or so, then you killed the app or you put it on background. Then after 1 hour, you came back again. So it will be two different sessions. So number of unique sessions where you had visited Insta Reels. Okay? Clear? We spent a total of 70 minutes on that use case. Clear all metrics. I will share this file also with you. Okay. What about any questions you have, or we can proceed with the next one? We'll proceed now. Any doubts, you interrupt. And within the same session, right? So this is the metric, number of reels watched per session. So again, debatable whether it should be added here or it will be added in the engagement. It can go in either. Okay. Okay. Clear? Now coming to the second use case. There is a tipping feature in Zepto that when you are ordering, you can add a tip for the user, for the delivery person. So there is a pre-order tipping and a post-order tipping as well. That if you liked the delivery experience, you can tip. But we are discussing about pre-order tipping rights. Okay. So if a question like this is asked or you have to solve, you can ask some follow-up questions. Okay. What will they be? Just to understand the feature better, because this can be a very nuanced use case. The number of corner cases can be higher. So you can ask some follow-up questions. What is this? What is that? What does this mean? Etc. Any questions come to mind?
So this pre-order tip goes to the vendor or to the delivery person or to someone else.
Exactly. So the first question, and a very apt question, is, does the platform keep any tip itself, or it passes everything to the delivery partner? Okay, iska answer I'll give in some time. Okay, but very good question to ask. What else? What is the other question?
Will be something related to where the tip button is. Like, is it on the last home page or when we add something to basket?
Of the tip option. Okay, is it on the product page? Is it on the cart? Or is it just on the summary? Or is it on payment page? Okay, very good. What else? The first one of the first obvious question was, does this tipping happen pre or post? The answer is, of course, pre-order. Okay. What else? Very important from the rider perspective.
Instant, does it go to the person instantly, or there is some catch or kind of incentive type monthly structure?
When does the money get credited to the delivery partner? Very good. It is the normal ETA is 24 hours after order completion. Okay. But very good question. Last question, and probably the most important question from a delivery person's point of view. Can the driver view the tip amount? Or can the driver know that he is being given a tip for this order? Right? That is how the rider will be incentivized, right? Otherwise, why will he bother? Okay. Clear? Answer is yes. And location is on the summary. Okay. Now, answering this question, sorry, there are a couple of rules. If the order is completed, the tip is given to the partner within 24 hours. If the order is not delivered within ETA, then 80% to driver, 20% to Zepto. And if the order is cancelled, then full refund to the user. Okay, so this is the overall structure of this tipping feature. Any other questions? Or I think we have covered most of them.
Yes, and there is one question. So, does any post delivery survey related to the driver or driver behavior, does it impact the payment?
Post order survey.
Suppose driver was rated negative after the delivery, so will there be any impact on the tip that has already been made to the driver?
Okay. Any impact of poor rating? Any refund, you mean? The answer is no. Okay. Once it is given, it is given. In some exceptional cases, if you call customer care and give your grievance, then they might, but no guarantee. Okay. Everyone understood the feature? Okay. We only have 35 minutes. We'll go slightly faster, slightly. One more question which might come up here is, what about offline money paid to delivery partner? Some people can think na, okay, there is a 50-50 or 60-40% chance that the order experience will be bad. So I will not give it beforehand. Only if the order delivery is good, I will give in cash. So that cash collection we don't know about because it is offline, it is not captured anywhere. So it is a black box to us for this use case. We can't know, right? The delivery guy will not add, "Okay, oh, I got 10 more. I will inform about this to Zepto." No, they will not do it, right? So all that information is a black box to us. We cannot know, right? Okay.
But why we are talking about
Pre-order. Yes, Manisha, your question?
I have a question. I mean, why are we talking about offline money? Because here we are discussing about the pre-order
Yes.
tipping feature on Zepto.
Yes. So the reason we are discussing about this is because when a lot of users were surveyed about this feature, they explicitly mentioned we prefer paying offline. So this is just a nuance to it that wo bhi hoga, but we don't know. An obvious question would come up sometime when we are creating the metric. So I wanted to clear that beforehand. Okay. Right. Now coming to actors. What will be the actors? Who all will be the actors? Sorry, wrong grammar. Very simple. Customer,
Delivery partners.
delivery
customers,
partner, and Zepto
Zepto.
as a platform, right? So we will, let us say, think about purpose first for all the three. Purpose we will decide for all three type of users. Purpose. Or what is the purpose of this feature from a customer standpoint?
Reward.
Time saving.
Wait. Customer. Time saving means?
It somewhere. I mean, using this service, it saves their time, right?
How?
I mean, they don't have to.
Wait.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, but what is the selling point for this feature? Okay, why did Zepto introduce it in the first place? Or why would other companies also introduce it? What will they say?
Out
ये
of
क्यों
good,
introduce?
goodwill, like
Feel good factor, goodwill, create goodwill, right?
Increase
Well,
the trustworthiness.
Yeah. Increase
Will-
trustworthiness, yes.
Or what do you call it? Feel good factor. Sorry.
empathy. If it's sympathy towards the rider that he's
Yes, all of that is in first. Okay, very good. Second,
So trustworthy.
trustworthy for users.
Yeah. I mean, if they rate, that's how they get to know the drivers are like trustworthy or not.
I mean, they can assume this, right? That if they, give any sort of tip to the driver, they would take care of their order. I mean, I can connect it.
And also
to
quick
this.
delivery also. So quick delivery can also be a measure.
Can it be
So
mentioned as safety and preference?
we'll go one by one. Sorry. The first one was quicker delivery. So there are two aspects
sir.
to it. Two aspects. One aspect is if you give a tip pre-order, the delivery person is able to see, "Okay, I am being given a tip here." Right? All the delivery people who will be sent this request will be able to see that this is a tipped order. So there will be a faster acceptance of this order, right? So it will be faster rider assignment. Correct? That is what you wanted to say as well, a couple of you. Okay. Faster rider
Yes, sir.
assignment. What else? Faster delivery. Why? Because if it is the delivery is done in the within the ETA, the rider will get 100%, but if it is outside ETA, the rider will get only 80%. So they would want to maximize this and do a faster delivery. Actual purpose though, this is there. The last one which someone also mentioned was that if they have added 10 rupees or 20 rupees, whatever amount, they would expect that the delivery will have less chances of damage and poor experience, right? These are the four actual purposes. The only purpose which is marketed is feel good. कि भाई ये इसी के लिए कर रहे हैं हम, तो बाकी सब तो is a byproduct. But all the other three are also genuine use cases, right? Clear? Manisha, convinced? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Now purpose for the delivery partner.
First point, same, create goodwill.
Feel good, yes.
Incentives.
Higher motivation, higher trust, better payout for the delivery people, right? Higher motivation to deliver the product faster, getting more payout, and establishing some trust with the platform, right? What else? Higher attention to the platform, right? They will not migrate to other delivery partners if they are able to see value out of this, right? And this will hold true for the users also. For end users, their attention might also increase. Okay, because it is costly for the platform to switch, to get a churn for delivery partners. There is some onboarding process, there is some training, right? So the platform would want to reduce the churn. Okay, very good. And eventually for Zepto, what will be the purpose as a platform?
Increase in revenue.
Increase in revenue, all of those, whatever we discussed for Insta, right? Customer feel good factor, so higher retention, more motivated delivery agents, higher CSAT score, better customer reviews, less delivery breaches as well, right? And eventually higher revenue, that is a given, no? And profit, I don't know, it is not profitable, so lesser losses, one guess. Okay.
And can we also add, I mean, something like more delivery partners will be onboarded with the platform? I mean, eventually.
Okay, for Zepto, you are saying. Enough?
Yeah. Mhm.
So lower churn and lower uh, delivery partner churn, higher onboarding. Right? More people might onboard. Okay, the payouts are good, so we will become part of Zepto delivery. Okay? Clear? Purpose? Good. Now we will quickly move to what will we move to? The questions. Questions can, and we will let us discuss only from the viewer point of view or viewer customer point of view. Okay. So what type of questions? I think questions can come from here only. Feel good factor hai ki nahi, faster rider assignment, faster delivery, less chances of damage, etc. So let me just put it the purpose here. So that is a bit easier for us, right? Yes. So what will be the questions? Whether this feature is working or not. What will be the questions? And what will be the themes if you want to look at it that way? So questions can be in awareness, adoption, and adoption or JTBD, and final adoption. We'll see chalo, how it works. Okay. Yes. Yeah, should we just start with the metrics? ये break करने का I don't think it is so much required because we are pretty clear on what are the purposes, and we'll start with metrics only, right? Now tell me, what will be the first metric for viewer perspective? Very first metric.
Number of people who click on the tip option by total number of orders. That is something.
Okay. I'll tweak it a little bit. Number of orders with a tip divided by total orders, right? This will be adoption type of a metric, right? What else? Now I
Average
will not.
tipping. Average tip.
Very good. Average tip amount. One question which no one asked initially here.
Maximum and minimum amount.
Fixed
Will
amount
there
of tips.
will there be a fixed amount of tip, or you can customize also? Right? So there will be a default tip which is recommended, but you can add your recommended or add your custom tip as well. Okay. Yes, what else?
So can this be a metric like tips credited to a delivery partner by the total tips?
That will come under the delivery partner when we discuss.
Okay.
No, but
Okay.
that will yes. Yes. Look at these purposes.
Will any minimum and maximum amount impact any type of the metric? Like if we are able to get detail on what is the minimum amount that people are choosing and what is the maximum amount.
Okay, that will not be a metric. That will be some different analysis. Right? You can say maybe number of orders with a tip greater than 100, number of orders with a tip of 1 rupees if you are allowing it. Usme to driver will also say what is, right? What else, guys?
Can we compare the average order value and the tip amount, something like that? Would that be a valid metric? Valid metric.
Average order value. But what answer will it help in giving?
Like this category, this if people order this within this amount, they usually tend to tip the delivery agents, something like that. Like above 500 and 1000, people usually tip.
Okay, so basically you will break this into dimensions of order value, right? Those will be dimensions. We'll cover dimensions after this, right? But it will not be a metric, right? Hmm. Huh. Hmm. 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 Very good. Number of orders with, I'll say tipped orders, okay? Number of tipped orders with complaint divided by number of tipped orders. Very good. Extending this, what is the CSAT of tipped orders? Is it higher than normal orders? Right? First, less chances of damage, etc. will be here. Another metric to capture this is, what did I write? CSAT. Percent, sorry, number tipped orders cancelled divided by total tipped orders. Right? That should also go down. If the purpose is that the delivery guy will be more careful in delivering if he is given a tip, so the chances of cancellation at doorstep would be lower. Okay. What else?
One more, maybe having difference between the tipped orders, whether the tipped orders are reaching their estimated time of delivery, and comparing tipped orders and non-tipped orders, maybe.
Very good. Very good. Two time-related metrics. One is directly related to this purpose. Average assignment time for tipped orders. Right? Like we mentioned earlier, for tipped orders, the delivery partner will be able to see it is a tipped order. So they will accept it faster. Right? Clear? The other metric is about faster delivery. Average delivery time for tipped, and you will compare these against non-tipped orders in the same locality, right? Clear? What else? Anything related to CTR? And don't you want to check how many people, when they are on the summary page, they would be shown that this is the default tip, this is a tip you can change like 10, 20, 30, or you can add a custom tip. So everyone who lands on the summary page will see that message. So wouldn't you want to track the CTR? How many people are selecting that I want to pay the tip by the default amount? How many people are adding 20, 30, 40, or how many people are adding their own custom value? Right?
Customized tip orders divided by the total tip of.
So the first is CTR on tipped selection, which is percent number of times a tip is added divided by total times, total number of times you land on summary, right? It is sort of the top of the funnel for tipping. That 100 people landed on summary, how many people are selecting either, and now you can divide it, whether they are selecting the recommended value, they are selecting the other values which are written there, or they are adding a custom value, right? So the CTR can also be split. CSAT we already discussed. What else?
Can we track something around goodwill? I mean, if they have some message, some sort of message on the summary page or somewhere where, you are helping this person, doing this. When I used to order from Zomato, I remember they used to mention then why we have to give tip to them, a cause behind it.
Okay, so
So
you are
yeah,
saying
I'm thinking like that.
CTR on no more or why of the tip, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that is also one metric which you can track. Maybe it will help us in understanding the intent of the user, right? Whether
Yeah.
the user even cares about giving the tip or not. Okay, that is fair. What else? What else? Why is Zepto doing it? What will happen with free feel good and goodwill? Customer retention will increase, right? That is the eventual goal, right? Customer retention for tip giving customers, right? There can be a sub part of it. If someone has given a tip today, in the next order also is he giving a tip? So customer tipping retention. 100 people ordered today, 20 people are giving a tip. Out of these 20, how many people are ordering again? That is one. How many people are ordering again with tip? That is another myth, right? Non-video people, Shivani, Shabana, Prem, Shrishti, clear? Okay. Anuja, Lakshmi. I know Rohan, Nida, Manisha and Harsh are clear. Okay. We only have 13-14 minutes. What else? Cancellation, complaints also. Complaints we have added, kya?
Third point.
Tipped also. Okay. What else? We can maybe as a tertiary metric, we can check average order value of tip drop. Okay. And one more very hygiene metric which the company can track, and it might not be required, but there can be some cases where the tipping feature is not visible to all users. It is possible if they are using a very old version of Zepto, or if they are using a very old phone, the tipping feature might be available only to the newest users or newest operating system or the newest version of the app, right? So there can be another metric which is this. And it is the absolute top of the funnel. Number of orders with tip visible divided by total orders. And here you will measure कि था भी वो option या नहीं, whether it was even available or not, right? Clear? Now, metrics we are largely done with. The next thing, which will be a very big, strong, big positive if you mention, are dimensions. So these metrics are defined. You know the numerator, you know the denominator, you know the purpose of each metric, you know the definition of each metric. And you give all these metrics. Okay, this is this percent, this is this percent. But metrics in themselves are just one number, right? A metric is just one number. In order to do better RCA, in order to do better analysis, it is important to view this metric against multiple cuts or multiple dimensions, right? So what will be an example of a dimension here? I will add here. One dimension will be location. All these metrics can be split by location: city, state, pin code, locality to pin code here, right? Or a society or building. And if it is a very rich society, so you can expect more percent of tipped orders, right? What other dimensions can we have?
So
You can-
workers and non-workers, like workers, like corporate people and non-corporate people. Because corporate people tend to order more.
But how will you know? You don't have the ITR information of the customer.
Okay.
Product category.
Product category, very good. Product category.
Basis of male, female, children.
Good point, Shivani. But male, female is not very readily available. Think of yourself as a user. In how many times would have, even if Zepto asks, are you male or female, would you add? Or would you even find that option to add your gender? So male and female largely are derived from the user behavior. But I wanted to give this nuance, but a fair point. Male, female, gender, and age. Age again is derived by the browsing the user does, etc. Okay, very good. What else? And it is a very
Maybe-
important factor.
Time, dates, weekend, week curves.
Time of the day. That at night, if people are ordering and they want an assignment to be done to the rider, they would want to give a tip if something they need at an odd hour, right? So time of day of the week, day of the month of the year, right? So your metrics can change significantly depending on the duration, whether it is a weekend or a weekday, national holiday or a normal day.
Rainy day.
Very good. Weather conditions, right? If it is a rainy day or something else, external conditions change.
National holiday.
National holiday, yeah. So on all of these, the metrics can fluctuate, right? So the tipping feature is also marketed in such a way that if it is raining and you really want something, you tip and you will get a rider after some time, right? Very good.
Even the platform also go for surcharge during rainy time.
That is true. Double negative for the customer, but okay.
Yeah.
Yes, what else? What else?
I think order value as well, because sometimes what happens when we order, for example, I'll tell you, my mother ordered 30 kgs of atta. So they expect that delivery person expect that if we are getting this much of order, then we should
Yes.
get some sort of.
So order value or order weight also, right?
Yeah.
Whether it is a lightweight category or heavyweight category, so it will come somewhat in the product category as well, right? But very valid point. What else?
Even the
Frequency.
platform also nudges us that it's a big order, so it will take time.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Now another dimension you can cut it by is whether it is a new user or an existing user, whether it is a loyal user or as in a very highly engaged user or not. Okay. There might be a few others Time of the day, etc. is all done. Product category is also done. There are some fragile categories like vase or tube light or others. So you can, and people want them to be handled with extra care. So you can split your metrics by those product categories. Shivani, you have a question?
Delivery time, can we consider that? Like, is it delivering in 15 minutes or 10 minutes or 5 minutes? Is it considerable point?
So usually, isn't the delivery promise the same across? Like we will deliver in 10 minutes or 9 minutes. Maybe. I think it varies day on day or based on the time of the day. So in the morning when you open Zepto, it might say 9 minutes. In the evening, if you open, it might say 15 minutes. So yes, you can split by order. ETA promise time. So as an example, how will it play out? If the delivery promise time is 15 minutes, it is possible that people will add more tips. If 15 तो बहुत late है, we want in 10 minutes. Versus if the promise itself is 6 minutes, then people won't want to add more to get it in 2 minutes, right? So that is living in your house. It's more than 2 minutes.
So can we consider Zepto Cafe in this?
What is Zepto Cafe? Like you order for food.
That's restaurant.
Yeah.
No, this is only for normal Zepto. More complications will. Or there is this Bolt also is Zepto or it is Swiggy. So this is the traditional
Bolt, I
Zepto.
guess.
Traditional Zepto
Okay.
quick commerce. You can tell the interviewer, you can ask these questions, okay, do you want to consider this as well? It will be a bonus, right? Same as dimensions, right? So I will share this sheet if there are no doubts. I will share this sheet with all of you. So we are towards the end of the session. I will launch the poll. Please give in your feedback. And any other questions? I will also share this file with you. And I hope you guys enjoyed the session. And one more thing. These are 3-4 use cases which we discussed. Try out other use cases as well, other businesses. What all can be other factors? What all can be different in other businesses? If you want, I can share some examples which you can try out on your own. Okay, what will be the purpose? What will be the metrics? What will be the questions to be answered, and so on. Let me see if I have a list here. Yes, I had compiled one small list of the use cases you can think of. I'll add it here itself, right? So Swiggy, Zomato, food business, Uber, Ola, travel aggregators, Make My Trip, Ease My Trip, etc. Quick commerce, we discussed. Social media, Amazon, Flipkart, Nykaa, grocery, OTT. How will it work for OTT platforms? Payment aggregators like Check and Cred, affiliate programs like Cashkaro, Google Drive, Gmail, Airbnb, Zerodha, Grow, 1MG, Pharma, right? So try out, take out some time and think through these use cases as well. That how will you think of such scenarios so that when you are in an interview, you don't get surprised. "यार, ये क्या पूछ लिया?" Right? You are already well versed about different metrics, so you are more confident that you will be able to crack interviews. You will be able to perform RCS better. Right?
Sir, I have one. I mean, dimension. I mean, if it came to my mind, if we talk about distance or some sort of remote area, so will it come under ETA promise time or it will be a different dimension?
It can come under location, pin code. So companies a lot of times tag pin codes as remote or difficult. You might have heard of some news wherein there is one specific pin code in Ghaziabad or Faridabad where a lot of people steal from delivery guys. So
I live
they,
in Ghaziabad.
no offense, but but there were some instances where companies blacklisted some pin codes. So, for an example, I was in Bangalore for a particular pin code, and there was some dispute between the society and Domino's. So, Domino's had stopped delivering to that pin code or to that society, right?
Oh,
So, they have some no-go areas as well. So, that can also be one dimension. कि वहाँ order ही नहीं है या वहाँ tip you would want to take, right?
yeah,
So,
infrastructure खराब है, kind of.
yes. So there can be different flags: dangerous territory, very remote territory, poor road infrastructure, and so on. Right? Okay. So that brings us to the end of the session. I hope you guys were able to take value out of it. Please try out on your own. I'll also share this sheet with all of you so that you can recap. And I think I will see you next week for Excel, the first session. Okay. If nothing else, we can conclude the session. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining a very interactive session. I too had